Open Ace Attorney. And that means we can play Dragon Quest on Saturday. Assuming that nothing comes up. Wink. Right. Game audio, game audio. Wherefore art thou, game audio? Alright, let me know if you guys can hear that. Also, I'm gonna put away my merch real quick in case Lucy decides to come back. She's not in my room right now. Can hear? Okay, perfect. Me also. If I turn the Wi-Fi off, oh, maybe it won't be as bad. All right. Oh, I need to change my stream title and stuff. Hold on. Investigations 2. All right. All right. Ooh, okay. We were looking around in here. So how many minutes do you think this timer is for, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, Mr. Carcerado is a boxer, so 3 minutes would be my assumption. Same as the length of a round in boxing. Thanks for playing, but the correct answer is kinda maybe about 2 minutes. Why? Because there's a crack in it, and a bit of the sand spilled out. Why does it hurt so much when she's right? Edgeworth, gotta lose 10 pounds. No way! He has a poster of himself! And right next to it is... looks like he never lost the habit of making weight for a fight. Once a boxer, always a boxer, I suppose. I see he also has quite the collection of supplements. Muscle protein. Hustle protein. Soul-crushing protein. Yeah, that's a lot of protein. Surely nobody trains like this for nothing. Well, he wants to beat up the warden, obviously. This punching bag has certainly seen some use. Oh, hi, Lucy. Hello, friend. She's back. Hee hee. What breed were you again, Missile? Surely it wasn't a boxer. No way. No way indeed. Quickly, detective. Move the sandbag aside. Yes, sir! A hole! Could this be? Whoa there! Wait, Missile! I'm going in too! Wait, stop! Sir, I'll go get her! Gumshoe can fit in there? Oof, that's tight! Shouldn't have eaten that cake! That's what I thought. He's gone. Oof. Well, I'm not going in there. Guess we'll just have to wait. Come on, Edgeworth. I love that Polly is just here. I want to talk to her so bad. Hello, Kay? Are you alright? You're not gonna believe this, but we're in the detention center. The detention center? That hole! It's a tunnel that leads right into Mr. Knight's cell! What? Don't go anywhere. I'm on my way. Run! Kay! Hey there, Mr. Edgeworth. Guess you could say we made a breakthrough. Quite. At least they came out unscathed, I think. Sir, the floorboards under the bed were torn up! How did we miss this earlier, Edgeworth? We literally looked under the bed. So that's how they did it. There's no doubt about it. This must be the route we've been looking for. The corridor connecting the detention center and the prison is locked down by heavy security doors, but with the help of this tunnel, it can be circumvented. It was a sweet scent that started this whole search. Could it be that the scent was in fact coming from Knight's body after all? A sweet scent can be detected. Incidentally, Knight's body was covered in dirt. Dirt that might have come from being dragged through this tunnel. Kay, what was it like down there?
Well, it was pitch black, so I couldn't see a whole lot. Luckily, my camera has a flash, so I took some pictures.
Then let's see what you've captured. Who put the frying pan in here? Look at that. Spoons, a fork. Guess these were for digging the tunnel. That aside, are those footprints? Paw prints even. From a dog, perhaps.
Do they look like dog prints? They kind of look more like bear prints.
This is a vital piece of evidence. However, it... I'm dying. It begs something of a question. It does? Mr. Carcerado has certainly been making use of this tunnel, which means... Detective, we need to find out where Mr. Carcerado is, immediately. If my suspicions are correct. Huh? Ah, nuts! The guards were alerted. They began searching for Mr. Carcerado right away. But after a thorough investigation of both the prison and the detention center, he was nowhere to be found.
Oh gosh, I forgot what voice I gave her.
Well, have the police been notified?
Yes, ma'am. We just finished liaising with them a moment ago. They've set up a cordon around the entire facility.
Good. The first blemish on a prison's spotless reputation is always the ugliest.
It won't happen again, ma'am.
Rather different Warden Lagarde to the one we've seen so far. Mr. Edgeworth, was it? I really can't thank you enough for finding that tunnel, darling. Sadly, it may have been too little too late. It seems you might have already left the building. I'd say that's unlikely, Warden. After all, there's a security gate at the exit to the detention center. You're not suggesting he simply walk through it? What's to say there was only one tunnel, sweetie? I suppose that's true. Well, whatever the case, this is no time to be standing around chit-chatting. Mr. Edgeworth, would you mind continuing with your investigation? It would be my pleasure.
And you there, and you three can get back to your posts. Yes, ma'am!
Detective, the results of the blood test just came back from the lab.
Thanks, pal.
Let's see what they have to tell us about the blood found in Knight's cell.
What does it say, Mr. Edgeworth?
They've identified the blood, and it's Knight's.
There are signs that the blood was wiped from the floor of the victim's cell. The blood has been confirmed as Knight's. Heh, nice job, everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh? We've got Knight's blood in this holding cell, a tunnel a dog clearly went through, and security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog in his cell. Case closed.
We have all the evidence we need. Let's see what Mr. Canis has to say for himself. Canis? Oh, darlings, are you sure? Do be careful around him, won't you? He's as well connected on the outside as he is in here. I suppose he would have to be. How else would the so-called fixer stay in business? The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. So that's what that was all about.
You still not talking, ma'am?
Even with
the evidence you borrowed from the precinct?
No, and I've tried so many times I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report.
I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack.
You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now.
Why his head shaped like that?
Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But No matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word. A prison warden conducting interrogations herself. That's irregular, to say the least. Let your guard down and he'll devour you whole. Be careful, darlings. You've been warned.
Ooh-wee! And here I thought things couldn't get any spicier.
I love him. What a goofball. Was the Buddha in the back always evil? Do you see those eyes? Did it always look like that? Judge Gavel, I didn't expect to find you here. We've been conducting enquiries, which, given that we are in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange is that you are still here, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave you a warning, did I not? I told you that your badge was at risk, should our paths cross again. And yet, here you are. I'm sorry that you thought I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honor. But I'm not about to let the truth slip from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. I'm here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourselves should have uncovered. You have more business with me, I take it, Mr. Edgeworth.
I forgot what voice I gave everyone, oh my gosh.
I do. I promised I would be back to prove that you were the killer, and here I am. This should be amusing. Very well. Whenever you're ready.
Objection!
What did I make him sound like? Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. It's been too long, guys.
Not so fast. We have some truths of our own to share. First-rate deductions, in fact.
Indeed. We're now more certain than ever that Simeon Saint was the murderer. And that only he could have moved Mr. Knight from his holding cell to the prison proper. We shall prove this to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. But first, a question. Are you quite determined to continue on this course, Mr. Edgeworth? Should you fail to refute our deductions, there will be no going back. Your very career hangs in the balance.
You mean you'll take his badge if you don't like how this goes? That's intimidation!
Not at all. If anything, I'm showing him mercy. This is not Mr. Edgeworth's case. It never was. And I am under no obligation to hear him out. If he is prepared to accept the potential ramifications of his actions, I will allow him one last chance. Well, are you truly willing to take the risk, to put your beloved badge on the line?
Mr. Edgeworth! Sir!
I accept your terms. I am confident of my reasoning, and what's more, I am representing the firm of Edgeworth & Co., and I do not intend to besmirch its name. My duty will be done, and I will not be intimidated. Very well. Let us see whether you are brave or simply reckless. By the power vested in me by the almighty goddess of justice, let this judgment commence. Eustace, if you will allow me.
Fine by me.
He's all yours, Gavel.
How Knight wound up in the prison proper.
You are aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume? He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled to one of the prison workshops. It figured she was going to bring up Mr. Saint going to Knight's cell. Yesterday, after you so kindly made us aware of the security camera footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. Perhaps you would like to see what we found? This is a still from the footage we received. Mr. Saint speaking with Knight at his cell. Oh, Mr. Saint speaking with Knight at his cell. Correct. You will also note that he has positioned the cage in such a way as to obscure the camera's view. It is this blind spot that Mr. Knight exploited in order to enter the cage undetected. A sound deduction based on what can be observed, wouldn't you say? Blind spot, which means that the camera wouldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage if he did at all. So it's still possible that he didn't actually leave his cell at this point.
I don't get it. Why would Mr. Knight want to hide in the cage?
There is really only one possibility. He intended to escape.
A prison break! That's so cool! Mr. Carcerado, Mr. Knight, everybody's doing it. I have to step up my game.
Okay, now is really not the time. Mr. Carcerado's escape is no laughing matter. It is my belief that Mr. Saint helped Mr. Knight with his escape attempt. That is to say, he was his accomplice.
Wow, go Simeon!
That wasn't a compliment! I understand that the cage was briefly taken to one of the workshops. I imagine that, had things gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show, and then removed from the premises along with the rest of the circus's equipment. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, Mr. Saint had other ideas. He killed his friend in cold blood. Judge Cavell's argument seems reasonable, but there must be a fault in her logic somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
Let me see what we have, because I forgot. This is Sawet's bracelet, chest diagram, search for the murder weapon, dark form. The guard was attacked and his keys, including the one to Knight's cell, were stolen. They have yet to be recovered. One from a guard's locker in the detergent.
Hold it!
Your Honor, about this incident. You've heard about it, of course. Surely any attorney worth his salt would have his sources. Yes, I am aware of it, of course. Then you are wasting both our time. Shall we continue?
That's crazy. Ma'am.
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regains consciousness, I'm sure he will confirm our suspicions. I wouldn't be so sure. Perhaps I should press her further on her reasoning.
Always.
Sorry, but I believe there's a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, there was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely. He chose the option he deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere. Then waited for an opportune moment to present itself. He hid the keys. I'm afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor. But Knight wasn't hiding any keys. That has been proven already. And this is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have the keys.
Was they gone? They did not find them.
Since you know about the incident, I assume you must already know this, but... After the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell, and no keys were found. And if the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I have considered the matter of the missing keys, and I do not think it's such an issue. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated that they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chess set. Knight's chess set, the same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Was it? I can't help but wonder about that.
What? But you're the one who proposed it!
Actually, if you would recall, that was Eustace's assertion.
Throwing him under the bus?
So the two of them aren't of one mind on this, I take it. Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guard inside his chess set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open his cell and climbed inside the cage. He was then moved from his holding cell to that workshop in the prison proper, all with the help of his friend and accomplice. Had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard.
His little exclamation. I love him so much. He's so silly. Yeah, boing!
But Mr. Saint was a part of that performance. How would he have even had the time to commit the murder? How indeed? Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday's show was one such example. She's done her homework, I see. The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine. He's sent flying by the elephant.
Isn't that dangerous?
Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Yes, I'm afraid so. After all, it's more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say?
I don't know, is it?
Committing the crime and returning to the stage in the short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming that the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. I seem to remember telling you that I would not accept that part of the security footage into evidence. And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind. Very well. Would you be so good as to present it? What proof do you have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell?
Take that!
This appears to be a photograph of the floor. Almighty Goddess of Justice, grant me patience. That floor you're so dismissive of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensics operatives.
About that.
I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one.
Insulting!
The detective. How very unfortunate for him. Perhaps before you decide to circumvent the law, you might have considered that the committee's influence extends to the police.
Oh no! Now Gummy's badge is on the line too!
Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well.
Yeah, Edgeworth, you opened your big mouth.
I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into evidence. However...
Objection!
Bad luck, idiots. You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless.
Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted.
I just butted in to tell you that your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before it left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can it do, huh? A blood-wiping dog? You're a joke.
You'd have wiped that blood up, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmut. Yes, you would.
What?
That was one of the tricks I taught him before our work together was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence, after all.
Bro is terrified.
Saved. By an assassin of all people.
Jeez Louise, you could have just taught the little guy to shake hands.
Oh, he does that marvelously, too. Although, the way I taught him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First, he bites down hard on the victim's hand. Then...
La 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 la, I'm not listening.
I see. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems you may have gathered some evidence worth considering. Your understanding is much appreciated.
Wait, I'm not done yet. I just thought of something else.
Overruled.
Ooh boy, somebody's taking no prisoners.
Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me?
All yours, Cavell.
Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell, and the assassin's dog was the killer. My position is the same as it was yesterday. Until you can explain how the dog moved between the prison and the detention center, I cannot accept your theory into evidence.
Oh, but we can.
I thought you might say that, which is why I'd like to show you something else. This piece of evidence shows how the dog could freely travel between the prison and the detention center.
Take that!
This is... It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison.
What? A secret passageway?
It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Carcerado, escapee. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held. Well, this is certainly a surprise. To think that it was beneath our feet this entire time. Mr. Canis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder. In the name of the Goddess of Justice. Overruled, Mr. Edgeworth. You are out of line.
Hold it!
How so, Your Honor?
Overruled!
Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or at the scene of an investigation. Isn't that your little catchphrase? Well, it just so happens that I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report. His autopsy report. Is it updated?
When did we get that?
How do you not know you had it? The police handed it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it has something of value to tell us nonetheless. The Goddess of Justice speaks to us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat, and the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. But its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It is a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue with your flight of fancy? Or will you now claim that the dog used a knife instead? But that's impossible! That will be all. This court is adjourned.
Objection!
But the tunnel, the paw prints! What of them? Helmut is something of a wanderer. Perhaps he just happened across the tunnel one day. Although, I couldn't say for certain. I myself cannot wander quite so freely. That would be quite a coincidence, but I can't prove it's not the case either.
She sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish she'd kicked us in the teeth a little earlier with that.
She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with that autopsy report. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You are lead attorney for the defense, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim autopsy report in question. I do apologize for the delay.
Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for hooking us up. The interim report suggests that the cause of death was a stab wound to the back of the neck inflicted by a sharp blade. Death was instantaneous. Yep, this all checks out. Yep.
Mr. Fender, a handshake is not necessary when receiving official court documents, you know. So please feel free to let go of my hand. It's not a holy relic after all.
Was just trying to be friendly, Your Honor.
Had you lingered a moment longer, the Goddess of Justice would have spoken to you through my gavel.
All right, I got it.
Nice work, Gavel.
Just like we planned it.
I did only as you instructed, Eustace, but thank you. This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But if the dog didn't kill Knight, that takes Canis out of the running. The Goddess of Justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells me that you might yet keep your badge if you will finally abandon this fruitless quest.
What's our move, sir? I think she really means it this time.
What do you think, Detective? My answer remains the same, Judge Cavell. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated. Even with how things stand, you still refuse to concede. This may very well be your last chance. Your badge hangs by a thread. Then let it fall if it must. I have something far more important to protect as an associate attorney. My client. The Goddess of Justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy.
Attaboy, Miles. That's what I like to see. Looks like the defense never rests is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He's the one who said it first.
My father.
In fact, I could swear I saw Gregory's spirit in you for a second there. You said that you'd changed since your days in Von Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to.
Thank you, Fender.
Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Put your thinking caps on. It's make or break time. If it's true that Knight was off with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart?
A bladed weapon? Of course! There were 5 chisels in Canis' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murder with a tool like that. In which case, the weapon that killed Knight was... Have you quite finished? It would be in your best interest to concede. Evidence is everything. It may well be my little catchphrase, but it's also true. So the murder weapon was a sharp blade. Then where is it? The guards didn't find it.
Why can't you let this go? So what if they didn't find it? What are you driving at?
What if I were to tell you that I now know what the real murder weapon was, and it was right under our noses the whole time? Indeed. It was one of Mr. Canis' chisels.
What?
Overruled.
I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible, half-baked theories, Mr. Edgeworth. You have repeatedly insisted that Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog. I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and at the scene of a crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then yes, the murderer could not have been the dog. But that begs the question of what exactly it was we saw in the security footage.
Oh yeah, the security footage! How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
An excellent question. The footage shows the dog killing somebody, the dog jumping on somebody, or somebody attacking the dog. Bro was jumping. Mr. Canis' dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight, but he didn't kill the man. He didn't? No, Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag a corpse through the tunnel, he dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master.
Oh, I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Canis could finish the job. And he could definitely use one of his chisels to do it.
Correct. You, Bodhidharma Canis, you're the only one who could have done it.
Objection.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this on your report card? Refuses to listen. Must learn to respect others.
Are you asking me or confessing to what's on yours?
Oh! We already searched Mr. Canis' cell from top to bottom, right, Gabelle?
Yes, we even inspected his chisels, all 4 of them. There wasn't a single speck of blood.
Hold it.
Why, thank you, Your Honor. You have just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean? The last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4.
Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5.
And the one that's missing is... the small one. The one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Canis, where did you hide that chisel? A pocket chisel? And what use might I have for such a thing, I'm rarely allowed to leave my cell. In which case, he shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Canis. You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us? For a man who can't leave his cell of his own volition, Canis could have only hidden the chisel here.
Take that.
Mr. Canis is still a prisoner, despite the comfort he enjoys. He's rarely allowed out of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere, but that would have been far from ideal. He would have no way of guaranteeing where it might end up. Intriguing. Do go on, Mr. Edgeworth. Furthermore, this room is the one place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting?
Well, K is.
A fact he took full advantage of.
Ah, the old keep the incriminating evidence close routine. Classic.
Objection.
But I looked! I searched the whole cell myself! And there's just nowhere he could have hidden it!
Objection.
I am certain that the murder weapon is here, and that the reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner. Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan? Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot he could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What are you missing?
He's not showing us out permanently, right? Let's get out of here. Come on! Oh, I guess it was always evil.
The dog. He hasn't made a sound today. When we were here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Canis even encouraged him to do so. That must be it! I knew something was off. I can hardly believe it, but I think I know where he hid the murder weapon. Giving up already? I expected more of you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Hold it!
As well as you should, if you would give me a moment. For this piece of evidence shows where you hid the murder weapon.
Dog.
Take that!
Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today.
Oh yeah, unlike last time when...
Mr. Canis, if you would be so kind as to open Helmut's mouth. Oh, come now. He hasn't barked because he's a well-behaved boy. I had to order him to do it last time. Then order him again, this instant. It's not like we're asking for the world, Mr. Canis. Or do you have something to hide? You insist. Come on, Helmut. Open up. There we have it. A chisel that small was easy enough for a dog of this size to—
What? A chisel? In the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog?
I thought he'd been strangely quiet. I guess his brain is finally caught up. Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call forensics? Tell them it's urgent.
Okay.
Findings are as follows. Traces of blood were detected on the chisel.
What?
Not such a half-baked theory after all, was it?
Yeah. Alright, so we're all on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah?
The forensic evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede that this is most likely the case.
Contains traces of blood hidden by Canis inside the dog's mouth. Has a small bell attached to it.
Mr. Canis, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands that you explain yourself. We found the route your dog took to the holding cells, and now we have the chisel. How do you propose to talk your way out of this one? You never fail to entertain, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why does he always laugh like that, even when it's not funny?
Poor Helmut. How could they suspect us? You leave me little choice. I shall simply have to share with you the truth. I did not kill anyone. I have grown tired of killing. Something's not right. Why is he so calm? Very well. The court will hear Mr. Canis' testimony. If you would be so kind. Gladly. Canis' defense. Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him. No connection whatsoever. Given that this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? Could it be that you are suggesting that it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? Helmut only bares his fangs when I tell him to. I am not so bloodthirsty that I would kill a man I did not know.
I mean, when he puts it that way...
An assassin who only kills his acquaintances? Not the soundest business model, I agree. My work required me to deal with strangers, of course, but murder for its own sake, that's not my style. So I need to prove a link between Knight and Canis. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
But I will save because I'm scared.
I never knew him, I had no contact with him, no connection whatsoever. Aha, but...
Objection!
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Canis. You may have trained your dog to clean up your mess, but some things still require a human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board. What? The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120, and that's on the low end.
Wait, so that's 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1000, yeah, he curled him because he was losing. What a guy. I give up. I mean, what do you even call a number that big?
A vanishingly unlikely coincidence, that's what. Now, tell us why you killed Knight. Unless, that is, you would prefer to explain the coincidence. Well, they do say that truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence.
But that's totally impossible. We just proved that.
A coincidence of a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmut is as surprised as I am. Aren't you, Helmut? Yes, yes. Did the two have some sort of connection? I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, boy. The other prisoners had all gone to the yard, you see. There was a show of some sort, I believe. Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmut, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmut take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked. The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop. Indeed he did. Removing it here would have made an awful mess, after all.
You know something. Oh, you know something? That makes total sense. Remember what Mr. Saw had said, Mr. Edgeworth? That huge... Oh. My gosh, what did he sound like? That huge black dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat.
What did you just say?
It was hellish. Utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him.
I see. So what Mr. Sod actually saw was Helmut removing the murder weapon, then?
Precisely. I can't say I wasn't a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy. It's not like you to slip up like that, is it, now? And there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I am responsible for the removal of the weapon. Now, will that be all? Poor Helmut is growing restless.
Objection!
Why you sound like that?
Sorry, but if you could entertain us for just a little longer, Mr. Canis. Bender.
No offense, Paleo, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place.
He's right. It makes sense that he would move the body to avoid suspicion, but Canis had no reason at all to recover the murder weapon. So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought. Please answer the question, Mr. Canis. Just because of the bell. The one attached to the chisel and the one around Helmut's neck. Have a very distinctive design, if you will. Of course, they were something of a trademark of yours, were they not?
I don't get it. How does that even work?
Auditor Canis, the blind butcher. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear. You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well. Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence seized in our case against you. Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only 2 in existence.
Just 2?
2 and only 2. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted. Utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools. Precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me.
Only 2 such bells exist. One is attached to Helmut the dog, the other to Canis' knife, which was seized by the police during his arrest.
When Helmut brought the body to my cell, I was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. At first, I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed. But no, a chisel. An ordinary chisel. It's certainly no assassin's blade. Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would become the prime suspect. And so, the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
Hold it!
You still claim that all you did was to have the dog move the body, that you have nothing to do with the killing. How could I? I told you the chisel is not mine. You need not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth. Why not have it checked for fingerprints? Eustace.
Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints.
Get forensics.
Oh, right. Sure thing. We got him. Fingerprints. They're Mr. Knight's.
And Mr. Canis's.
Nope. Just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and forensics said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off.
Only Knight's fingerprints. This isn't good.
Should I get them to check again?
Now do you see? I've never so much as touched that chisel. Helmet carried it in his mouth. That is all. Therefore, any prints must belong to whoever had it last.
Does dog slobber not get rid of fingerprints? I'm surprised they could find any traces at all. Ugh! So the murder weapon belonged to the victim. Ooh, that's not helpful.
As I said, I have not touched the chisel. Therefore, I cannot be the killer. Or do you wish to suggest otherwise? He's so cutesy, I'm dying. He's a silly little guy. I've got nothing to counter with. But what could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? No, he can't be. I'm sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth, but if you do not find a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I will have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience has a limit, and I will not tolerate you throwing this investigation into chaos. Am I clear?
You've done it now, sir! She's serious!
I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one.
Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What would Mr. Knight have needed a chisel for?
You can do a lot with the chisel, child. Break out of prison, for instance.
Alright. Then how did he get it in here? There's no way the guards would let him bring a super sharp tool in with him, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Hey! Earth to Mr. Edgeworth! You can't stand there hemming and hawing just because of a little setback. The important thing is finding the truth, you know? It doesn't matter how we get there. As long as we save Simeon in the end, we can't give up now, or ever.
Yeah, what she said.
I'll second that. You won me around with that, Kay. I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. It's like I said, the defense never rests. Or rather, like your pop said. What do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses?
The heart of those words.
It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the only ones they can turn to. Simeon's our client, and we're the only ones who can save him. So we can't rest, not while he's counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy.
Oh, I'm not about to turn my back on your old... What?
Oh. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you?
I'm an associate with the defense now. No, I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I have chosen, and that means that if I fail to save my client, I have failed in my duties. I will honor my father's vision and save Simeon Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I must simply find another.
There we go. That's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Now let's find that new path forward. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought that chisel into the prison.
Right. How would Knight have managed to bring a chisel in here?
Take that!
Usually, it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into this facility undetected.
Because of the security gates, right?
Correct. But we already know that checks at one of the gates hasn't been entirely thorough of late. Namely, the gate at the entrance to the detention center. That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check. Are you telling me that the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been. Alas, it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late. Knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chess set. That does answer one of our questions, and it suggests that the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Canis's. Knight hid a chisel in here to prevent it from being found by the prison staff. However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address, that of the security footage in which Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Canis was not the culprit?
But then, how do you explain his prints not being on the murder weapon? This one's a real three-piper.
The court, too, finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation.
Wait, sir! I think it might be time to show you another one of my secret weapons! Introducing secret weapon number 4, Little V.
What sort of name is that, detective?
I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, you can use it to analyze the video footage.
An excellent idea. Perhaps then you might finally see that I am telling the truth. Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it has to be worth a try.
Alright, want me to talk you through how to use it, sir?
Seeing as how I'm not exactly familiar with the video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out.
Nah, I'm good.
No, I'm sure it won't be that complicated.
Whatever you say, sir. Now let's fire Little V up. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eyes and you'll do fine.
The footage from Knight's holding cell, other than the victim being attacked by the dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But suppose we're wrong, what could we be looking at instead? Could the person in the footage be someone other than Knight? And if so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? I should keep both questions in mind while reviewing the footage.
You never know what you're gonna see once you start looking at things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll find something, I'm sure. My family keeps slamming doors.
What in the footage seems odd?
Hat.
I must be seeing things. I should take another look. And if nothing seems off at first glance, zooming in might help. The devil is in the details, after all. Convenience.
Bro, that's literally a hat. It's literally a hat, and Knight doesn't wear a hat.
The figure is reflected in the mirror here, too. Is that a hat? Say,
Doesn't that look like the hats the guards wear, sir? Aw, jeez, is that what I think it is?
have there been any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently?
Not that I've heard of.
So this may not be a guard at all, but someone dressed as one. Perhaps this might shed a little light on the matter of the hat.
Take that!
So, no guards have reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know, but we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen. Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempting to escape without being noticed.
A guard disguise? I guess it might work. Wait, weren't we just talking about someone?
We were indeed. Someone who seemed to have successfully made his escape. If the person in the footage isn't Knight, then the creature may not be a dog either.
You're right, sir. Let's zoom in and check. Creature!
Wait, that's... I suspect we may have made a critical error of judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. This animal is...
A bear!
That's not a dog. It's a bear.
What? So the paw prints from the photo I took.
We're not canine, but ursine.
Ursine? Ursine. Shows paw prints made by a bear.
A bear? So that could mean... Yes, I think it could. After all, who else do we know with such a pet? We had assumed that it was Knight in the security footage.
Well, it was his cell. It's hardly a crazy theory.
Perhaps, but now that we know about the hole under the bed, it is no longer the only possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one caught on camera. And who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Would you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be? The person in the security footage is...
There he is.
Take that!
I believe I know who our guard in disguise is. None other than Rocco Carcerado, the prisoner who recently escaped from this facility. I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion.
But the bear in that video was all black!
Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. The evidence that explains the polar bear's dark fur is...
Mud. Mud. Oh gosh. I mean, they're muddy prints. I'll try.
Take that!
Call me a dum-dum, but qua? Is it just this?
Take that!
Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank Sawat's testimony.
That's the rubber glove I dropped.
Would you care to explain why it's so dirty?
Oh, of course. That's mud from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened.
I see. And around what time would this have been?
Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 a.m. perhaps. The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got, and the darker the animal's fur became. There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when one slathers an animal with thick black mud.
While the circus performance was underway, he was giving one of the animals a mud pack treatment.
And that animal could have been...
Indeed, our polar bear. Mr. Edgeworth, your latest assertion simply introduces yet another contradiction. The footage from the security... I fully understand, Your Honor, and your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Sawat mentioned applying the mud pack while the circus performance was underway, and this does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage.
It does?
Yes, let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay?
If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it would have been around 9 a.m.
In which case, something isn't right about the footage.
Really? And what's that?
What new contradiction does the security footage introduce relative to when it was recorded?
It says 4 a.m.
Take that!
Mr. Sawat said he administered the treatment at around 9 a.m., in which case the security footage should also show a time of around 9. However, the timestamp says 6:42 a.m. On the day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3, Mr. Canis, who remained in his cell in maximum security, Mr. Sawat, who was administering a mud pack treatment in the workshop, and Rocco Carcerado, who had been awaiting that precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe he entrusted the bear to Mr. Sawat before entering the tunnel.
Ah, cute. My stream died. Hello? Yarr.
And the bear then slipped out of Mr. Sawat's grasp to run after its human. Mr. Sawat would have then left the workshop to pursue the bear, at which point he saw Mr. Canis' dog retrieving the murder weapon from Knight's body. It all fits perfectly, except for the security footage, which should have been recorded from around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off.
But why would the timestamp be wrong?
Detective, I would like to have the security footage examined. Right away, please.
I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and... Seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power.
What?
Pretty old, sir. Guess the clock stops when the power's off.
Which would mean the power was off for approximately 3 hours at some point.
That's not all, sir. You remember how Knight denied stealing the keys? No one believed him, considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold just like the other guy.
Which may not necessarily have been a lie.
Darlings, there you all are. It's getting awfully crowded in here.
How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along? Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carcerado. I believe he may still be on the premises. He is disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We're reasonably certain that the person captured on the tape is our man. And if I'm correct, he might even be right here in this room with us now.
Hey, Mr. Carcerado would have been wearing a bracelet, right?
Yes, a bracelet that could easily be hidden under the sleeves of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if he avoided the doors with sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape. Well, yes, I suppose he could. He'd just have to avoid the workshops and the cells and... Oh my! He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now!
Look! It's Teddy! Hey! Paws off! Get your mitts off of me, you big palooka!
Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions.
Dang it, kid! If it wasn't for you, I'da...
What a thing it is to be loved, huh, Mr. Carcerado? I'm almost envious. Guards! Apprehend this man! A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we are to learn the truth, I will need to speak with him. With your permission, of course. I can hardly say no now, can I?
Well, come on then. Hit me with your best shot.
Mr. Carcerado's escape route led directly into Knight's cell, so it's highly possible he has something to offer. Tell me what you were doing on the day of Mr. Knight's body was discovered.
Okay, but I think we're gonna end here. The Wi-Fi is not having it with me. Unfortunate. I'll probably combine VODs for, this Ace Attorney case and the next one. But thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Hello! Hi Avery, hi Kimono, hi Gray. Can I get an audio check, please? How is everybody doing? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear the game? Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully we can finish this case today. I once again do not remember what voice I gave this man's. So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that freaking thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a hole dug, and a plan in place, so I went for it on the day you found the guy. Well then this little guy just had to come right after me. The sack of fur was covered in mud, too! Had to go back to our cell. Listen, you should be happy that your pet follows you around, sir. Ugh, I would have gotten away with it if somebody had an off night and brought you bums down here.
You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly? Oh, you claim to have dug that tunnel. You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it?
How? Used everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had on this cockamamie fixer, and what do I gotta show for it now, huh? Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day.
There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerado and Knight met face to face just before Knight's death. I should see what other details I can extract from him.
How's everybody doing, by the way?
Hold it!
That tunnel...
Shut up! Who you telling to hold it?
The tunnel you said you...
You don't know nothing! You don't know what I had to do! Had to come crawling to the fixer monk! Had to grovel and kowtow day after day after day! How you gonna give me back the hours, huh? The days! The months!
I can't get a word in edgewise.
You should have never stuck your noses in my tunnel! Never!
Hold it!
So the tunnel was all your own work?
Every inch! You see anybody else in my cell when you was there?
That's quite an effort, even for an athlete.
Yeah! Now that I think of it, that's an insane amount of digging for one guy. Yeah, well, you don't even know the half of it, kid. But it ain't like I had a choice. Trust nobody and don't get caught.
Them's the rules a con's gotta live by.
Huh. You know, the rules of being a great thief are pretty similar.
Okay, I'd rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect.
I was just joking, Mr. Edgeworth.
It ain't no stinking joke to me. You punks owe me.
Something disconnected and reconnected? Hello? Alright, well.
Hold it!
The uniform. Was that from the fixer too?
Uh-huh, it sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had the guy swipe it from a pal's locker.
And were you wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
Nope, would've got dirt on it. Had to hold on to it until I got to the holding cell. But once I was out of there and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, I thinks. Freedom beckons. And then the furball here jumps up at me.
Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony.
Once I was out of that tunnel and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Should have been.
Hold it!
Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake, you say?
Sure, anything seems easy after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground.
And you were familiar with the layout of the detention center, even though you live in the prison.
Why wouldn't I be? It ain't like I never been there before.
If he's familiar with the detention center, then he'd surely be aware that unlike the doors in the main prison, the holding cell doors are locked with actual keys. And I'm sure Mr. Carcerado would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape.
Okay. Where are your keys, good sir?
Objection!
You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? 'Cause we can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you had reached Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it? Bruh. Mr. Carcerado, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake as the door was open. I walked right out.
Sir? Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. And it was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself. So perhaps when you'd finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously.
Yeah, the security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you.
Which was during the circus performance, before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at that time, because no one knew that Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key to his cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible.
Grr! Grr! Thank you for the hydrate and stretch, kimono. I still have that stray cough, but it'll be fine.
Are you saying... could he really have? I believe he could, yes. The theft of the keys was, in fact, perpetrated by none other than... Mr. Carcerado. He is the one who attacked the guard.
I no longer am dying from the flu. That's good. I'm glad to know you're feeling better. I'm sorry, the shorts and the socks? What a guy. He looks like a baseball.
But not just the guard. Knight too. All to gain possession of the guard's keys.
It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I didn't even know this Knight guy. He looks like a boxer. I think he's supposed to be.
After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion. And then you waited for the perfect moment to escape. A moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right. The moment of the show. Just before the discovery of the body. Unluckily for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend.
Says who, huh? You got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet. Nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out for the count, and everybody knows it. Or maybe he's just wearing boxers. Ayo.
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell.
A small cut on his scalp from when he suffered a blow to the head.
Take that!
Oh no, that proves it? Indeed it does. Yes, I think I see it. Very victim-y. Very victim-y indeed.
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, this piece of evidence is utterly meaningless. Really? Yeah, that's what I meant to say. What? If only she weren't here. I have to try and recall the evidence we found in Knight's cell. There's something in there that suggests what must have really happened between the two of them. Victim-y. I love him. He's just a little dummy. I guess you had nothing after all, huh? Okay, in his cell. Oh, this?
Take that.
Bruh. Very victim-y. We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed the both of them and stole the keys. Why, I oughta... What's with you, huh? That newspaper wiped that blood up good! Ain't no way you should have found it!
Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway?
If they'd checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen those two never came to blows. But that blood gave up the whole game. Ain't no way they don't figure there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on the floor, they'd have found the tunnel in a heartbeat. So you wiped up the blood to buy yourself a little more time, so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, it seems. Now, hand over the keys. Right in the kisser! Not the slow-mo jump. KO'd by a lousy, stinking bum! Clearly he's never heard of Luminol, yeah. Unfortunate. Also, welcome in, Epic Pikachu. Eustace, more like useless. I think that's why they call him that. Fine, you want keys? Here, I hope you choke on them. They were found in Mr. Carcerado's possession. Let's go. Wait a moment. If Mr. Carcerado here had the keys... Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. That was the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that that theory cannot possibly be true. Ah! No!
Guess this changes things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel.
No! You gotta be freaking...
Mr. Carcerado, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal.
Wait, you've got the wrong guy. I didn't do nothing. Alright, fine. I knocked those two chumps out, and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around.
And I mean nobody.
Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magicked my way in there or something? I couldn't even have gotten out of my cell. Indeed. You only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Canis's dog could.
What?
It was not you, but Helmet who moved the body from your cell to the workshop.
I get it now. You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy.
Ugh! I love him. Indeed, one could easily imagine that Mr. Carcerado and Mr. Canis might have worked together. Mr. Carcerado could have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell.
And then, Mr. Canis's dog took him from there to the workshop.
There are no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. Movement between the detention center and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There was only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Carcerado.
How could you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough.
Got that right. You try scraping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of the work for me.
What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself?
Nope. Found it when they put me in that cell.
Ran all the way from there to the well in the yard already.
Even looked down the well to check it out from there. It was the same tunnel, all right.
I just made good on what somebody else already started.
That's still a lot of work, though.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Who knows? You're the one with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else trying to break out.
Ooh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like, to get water from the well or something.
I've heard of more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay. Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be had down there. Though, come to think of it. Smell. Yeah, always smelled kinda nice down there. Nice. Gee, I don't know. Smelled sorta like dessert, I guess. A sweet scent. That sounds very familiar. Where did we come across a sweet scent before? The body. Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route back through the prison. And that, Mr. Carcerado, was how we found your tunnel. Could that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well?
Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel?
I do. Furthermore, Mr. Carcerado, you are the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access.
You have our thanks, Mr. Carcerado.
Oh.
Truly. Finally the truth comes into view. Now unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident.
What? You ain't pinning this on me! I'm glad to see that we are finally in agreement, Your Honor.
Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Carcerado may have been an accomplice, but not a Mr. Canis. No, he was working with Mr. Knight.
Hold it!
What do you mean?
I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole.
You gotta be kidding me!
Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result.
I just realized his name is, like, incarcerated. Yeah, it is.
And what if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carcerado had reached a certain agreement?
What kind of agreement exactly?
Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was the precise means in the form of the keys Mr. Carcerado had just stolen from the guard. Mr. Carcerado himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carcerado's plans would be ruined. And so, the two struck a deal.
Lady, the only striking I do is with my fists!
My, still you deny it?
So, we're agreeing that we still disagree.
Mr. Knight had Mr. Carcerado unlock his cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived, he could escape into the cage. Mr. Saint was then able to move him into the prison proper, just as planned.
Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed.
Objection!
Were neither of you listening? The scent on Knight's body proves that it was taken through the tunnel. It was moved from his cell to the... Perhaps if you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. I am not denying that Mr. Knight's body was moved through the tunnel.
Then what are you driving at? Is this a trick question?
Are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route his body... As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell.
Huh? Then how did it get down there?
There's another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there?
The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing!
Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop. He took it outside. There, he killed Mr. Knight and threw his body down the well. Yeet! Mr. Canis's dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. On that note, I would like to ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simeon were performing for everyone. Wait, Simeon? Ah!
Ah, indeed. And so you see how it must have also had been him who disposed of the body. Judge Gavel is a truly formidable opponent. She so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop. And as we have established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes. Ample time to throw the body down the well, I'm sure you'll agree. Your deduction is impressive, Your Honor. However, even supposing that Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot conclusively say that it was during the show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have. What? Mr. Carcerado was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Carcerado, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there? No. Place was clean. Grr! If the body had been at the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Carcerado would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. Which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint?
Oh! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth?
If the body did indeed enter the tunnel from the well, things don't look good for Mr. Saint. Still, Your Honor, your theory is still just that, a theory, and I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up. I concede that, for the moment, I do not. May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you. Now then, to the yard. Perhaps we can finally put this case to rest. Ooh. What's that sound?
Yikes! Is there a fire?
Did somebody else escape?
Should we maybe skip town too?
Darlings, please! There's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean that that's not an alarm. It's the dinner bell. Gummy, run! He must be safe. Although, I suppose it is rather alarming if you aren't used to it.
It certainly scared the heck out of me.
I'm so sorry, Sweet Pea. I hope you can forgive us. All right, you two, back to your posts. Chop chop! As for you, Rocco Carcerado, it's time you went back to your room. Gah! Fine, I get the picture. Come on, Teddy, we're out of here. Warden Lagarde, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now. Oh, darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, No, it's imperative that we investigate it right away. I think we've had quite enough excitement for one day, don't you? Murderers, escapees, so eventful. It's time our guests went home to Betty Bye's, isn't it? Yes, it is. Ugh. Come on now, darling. Don't make me bore you with all that "I'm the warden, this is an order" nonsense. Warden Lagarde is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes. Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. They're just leaving. What are you waiting for, kittykins? Off you go. Fine. At least there is a tomorrow for me. Judge Gavel believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well, and then taken through Mr. Carcerado's cell to the workshop. But is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body. But was he really the only one with the opportunity to do so?
Come
down, Mr. Edgeworth. Tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out a way to save Simeon. I know we will.
Yes, we will. I will prove that Mr. Saint is innocent, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
To be continued.
But we will continue. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that'll finally reveal the truth behind it all. Although, that might be easier said than done.
There's nothing left to investigate.
Judge Cavell's deduction yesterday. There is another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Had Knight's body really been thrown down the well? The answer to that question will surely show us the way forward. But before we begin, I should tidy up my organizer a little.
Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. I feel like if he was thrown down the well, should he not have bruises? Because I feel like it's a significant drop. Let's see here. Huh. There's a cover on it. A dried up well slap banging in the middle of a prison? Figures they'd be locked. Well, luckily, I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff?
I think not. We'll do this investigation by the book.
Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa! You'd think so, yeah.
What is it, Kay?
The lock's broken, and from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time.
If that's the case, then anyone could have thrown Knight's body down the well. Judge Cavell's theory was that Mr. Saint carried out the murder here in the yard. And then, during the performance, he threw the body down the well.
What are you thinking, Malzarino? Plausible or no? Oh, why don't we see if Missile can help us out again? He'll be able to tell us if Mr. Knight's body was here, and which way it went.
Good idea. I'll call Detective Gumshoe.
Darg.
Gumshoe speaking. Detective, I need your assistance. Come to the prison yard, and bring Missile with you.
You bet, sir. Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons to the rescue again, huh?
I'm fairly sure Missile belongs to the precinct. I'd also like you to bring one of our witnesses. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you.
Yes, sir. I'll be back. I'll be there before you know it. So, what shall we do while we're waiting for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide-and-go-seek? Fun idea, kiddo, but where exactly would we hide?
He's not seriously considering it. Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one.
Oh, you bet I do. One crime scene recreation coming right up. Say what now? Let me show you. Introducing a great thief's great secret weapon, Little Thief. Whoa! Screens appearing from thin air. This is some next level tech, little sis. Want to talk me through the deets? What are you doing now? I'm inputting everything we need for the simulation.
Allow me to explain. This is Mr. Thief. It's a device that can recreate crime scenes at specific moments in time based on the data you feed it.
How about I start us off with a recreation of what the yard looked like yesterday?
Good idea. That was when they were in the middle of tearing down the stage. We didn't pay much attention to the well then. Who knows? We may have overlooked something.
Leave it to me. I'll use the photo I took. Beepity boop boop beep. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to the max and... Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares to take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Yipes! What is this? It's a recreation of how things were yesterday, modeled on the data I gave Little Thief. This gadget was a tool used by the original Yatagarasu, but they used it to plan robberies.
Well, there's no harm in using it for something on the right side of the law now.
Oh, but keep in mind that it can only recreate what you tell it to. It can't simulate things it doesn't have data for, and if the data itself contains mistakes, then you'll wind up with those same mistakes in the recreation too.
But this particular recreation is based off Kay's photo, so we shouldn't run into any problems. That's enough preamble. Shall we get started?
Let's go. Don't forget, you can examine stuff in the recreation just like in real life. You can also present evidence to try and clear up any inconsistencies you find.
Of course. Thank you for the reminder. Now let's take a look at that well. We should examine this area carefully. It may just hold the clues we need. There's a sturdy-looking hemp rope lying on the ground.
Kinda reminds me of the ropes we used for playing tug-of-war in school.
The answer is no, Kay.
What? I didn't even say anything. Yet.
I see it also has a metal skate attached to one end.
Stake. I can read, not skate. Stake. Oh yeah, it looks like something you'd use to put up a tent.
But there was no tent, was there? In which case, what was it used for? It's a metal weight of some kind. It looks like it weighs... The projection makes it a little tricky to read. Do you remember how heavy it was, Kay?
I'm sorry, Edgeworth. Can you not read that? It says 30 pounds. Sure, it was 30 pounds. A single 30-pound metal weight was found by the well. What does anyone need such a heavy weight for anyway?
It doesn't seem related to the circus show at any rate. What are a bunch of pulleys doing here? They don't seem to be well pulleys for lifting buckets. The well was behind the stage, which means
there aren't many people who could have thrown Knight's body down it during the show.
This is looking worse and worse for Mr. Saint.
So, what do you think all the stuff around the well was used for? Pulleys, a rope, and a weight. What were they being used for? I can't see any of the animals needing them for their part of the performance.
Indeed. Nothing immediately strikes me as a likely purpose. We'll have to ask Miss Barry later.
Oh, there's nothing more to be found here? Oh.
These chairs must have been for the audience.
Wow, I pity whoever had to put them all away.
Really? Why?
Ha! You've clearly never had to fold up a bunch of boring chairs before, huh?
Not personally. I've told other people to do it, though.
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You gotta roll up your sleeves and help out once in a while.
I'll consider it.
Bruh, no you're not.
Yes, this is where the circus show stage stood.
Do you think people would be interested in a great thieving show?
I'm sure the police would be very eager to attend.
What was the name of our trunk-happy friend again? Azia the Asian Elephant. X to doubt, real. Star of the show alongside Regent the Tiger and Saint. Of course, how could I forget?
Not exactly inspired, though, is it? Was Miss Barry having an off day when she came up with it?
Oh my gosh, Mr. Edgeworth! Not in front of the poor elephant herself!
I suspect that's about all there is to find for now. Detective Gumshoe should be here soon, too. Okay, you can power down Mr. Thief now.
Sure thing! Prepare to return to normality! That was easy.
Sorry, sir. Came as quick as I could.
Why is Missile angry? Ha! Speak of the devil!
Ah, detective. That was indeed impressively quick.
You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting. Thanks for coming all this way too, Regina. No problem. This seemed way more fun than rehearsal, so I ditched them for the day.
It's very much appreciated. Alright, detective, let's get started with Missile.
Yes, sir! Hey, Missile! Over here, boy! Why is he mad? What's the matter? Come on, boy, come on.
What's wrong with him?
Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Eek! Alligator!
Guess he's not a fan, sir. Well, I doubt he'll be much of a help to us like this.
Any other bright ideas, Mazzarino?
Yes, actually. Miss Barry, would you mind lending us a hand?
Ooh, I'd love to. Just tell me what you need. Do you want me to teach Allie some tricks?
I don't doubt she could do it, but nothing quite like that. I'd simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show.
I like where this is going. You're thinking of using Little Thief again, am I right?
If you'd be so kind.
Okay, I've plugged in all the data. Firing up the simulation. Here you go. This is what the yard was like during the show. Simeon is right there.
The time at which the body was purported to have been thrown down the well.
Oh, wow! This is so amazing! It's like magic! No magic here, just sweet, sweet data. Which is why...
The area behind the stage is missing.
Yeah, Regina said she wasn't involved in getting the stage set up. So we don't have any data on what it was like back there.
No data, no simulation, huh? Brutal.
I'm so sorry, you guys. It's all because I let Simeon do everything by himself.
Oh, no. It's all my frilly associate's fault. Objection, Fender.
Anyway, we've got a fresh simulation now, but we still have the other data too. I can switch back whenever you want to the recreation of them taking down the stage.
So we can examine the scene both during and after the show, and switch between the two at will. I can switch between recreations by using T to talk with K. Now then, let's continue our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir. A story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. I wish I could have seen it. I wish I could have seen Simeon up there on that stage, too. Oh, he was wonderful! The way he flew off that stage!
Oh yes, that scene. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Roughly how long would you say Mr. Saint was off stage for, Miss Berry?
Let's see. I guess it was around 15 minutes.
Just as Judge Cavell said.
Isn't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise having an elephant fling a guy off the stage? Not at all. Azia is very gentle.
I'm not sure it changes much if she flings him gently or roughly.
Too gentle, in fact. When we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But by the end, he was flying off that stage. Not because of Azia, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing?
A trick? Do you have any idea what kind of trick?
Who, me? Oh no, it was Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't know where to start.
A trick of some kind enabled Azia to send Saint flying. The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene. Could it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Okay, I'd like to have another look at the equipment around the well from yesterday. Can you have Mr. Thief bring up the recreation from when they were tearing down the stage?
You got it.
Taking another look at these items, could they not have been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's?
Sounds plausible enough. Hey, I could maybe add it to the simulation.
Good idea. Please go ahead and ask Mr. Saint for the details.
Roger that. I'll be right back. How convenient. He's right here. 'Cause he's at the detention center. I'm back, and he told me exactly how he did it.
Excellent. Well, how does it work?
He said he used the pulley at the top of the well to suspend a heavy weight from a rope, and lowered that down into the well. The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys, and was tied around his body.
I see. So he used the downward pull of the weight to help him launch himself into the air. But how did he make sure the weight only dropped when he wanted it to?
He used a stake to stop it, that's how. Miss Berry didn't seem to know anything about the trick, or the contraption he built for it. In which case, I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out that stake. That's right! And to do that, he used a second length of rope. He tied it to the stake, and then, when he gave it a sharp tug, the stake was released, and the weight dropped down to the well. It's a great trick. I have to steal it. This one has to go in the Great Thief's repertoire.
It may not be quite that easy. These kinds of circus tricks can require years of practice to master. Simply stealing the idea won't be enough.
Alright, practice it is then.
Well, before you run away to do so, would you mind updating the simulation?
Oh, right. Then we could see how it all worked for ourselves. Okay, I'm switching back to the recreation of the performance. And now to add in the data. Little Thief should be able to reproduce the trick now.
So this is how Mr. Saint performed his trick.
A contraption that used the well, a very heavy weight, 3 pulleys, and 2 lengths of rope to send Saint flying during the show. Simeon's full of surprises, huh? I mean, dropping a weight down a well to help him fly off the stage like that? That's genius!
Indeed, but I imagine he would have needed quite a lot of weight, more than him at the very least.
Yeah, bro is way more than 30 pounds.
It would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that.
Something heavier than Saint himself would be needed for the trick to work. Yeah, and probably a ton of practice. I feel like I should connect those, but also at the same time, no. So let's continue looking around.
The basket was empty in the other recreation.
Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too. Oops, sorry. I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier.
Oh?
That basket's for holding Azia's food, but on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof. I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry.
Disappearing apples. I should make note of this.
Food for Azia that was in the cart until the day before the show, but was gone by the next morning. I think Elephant just ate her apples.
The apples in the basket were likely eaten by Azia.
Really? That's strange. I made sure to put the cart where her trunk couldn't reach them.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yes, it was still full of apples the night before the show.
Then we must consider the possibility that the cart was moved to somewhere within Azia's reach. A large basket full of apples couldn't have been moved by the wind, which likely means somebody moved it for a reason.
The basket was moved by someone the night before the show.
So before the show had even started, the cart had been moved and its apples eaten. Yes, that seems to be the most probable timeline. Let's update the recreation, Kay.
Will do. I'll add that into the simulation of the performance then. Updating based on what Regina told us now. There, all done.
Little wonder it smelled of animals. It was being used for the elephant.
To hold Azia's apples, right? Yup. Oh, yup, it was full of them the day before the show.
So they vanished overnight.
Ooh, did you figure something out, Mr. Edgeworth?
Quite possibly. Oh.
I don't think it's any of that.
This pond is home to Warden Lagarde's beloved alligator.
And look, those bones must be from her latest meal.
I somewhat doubt an alligator could pick a carcass clean like that.
You think? I got the feeling she was rather ladylike in her own way, actually.
If you say so.
Well, I do. I kinda have a sixth sense for these things.
An interesting talent, though not one I'm particularly envious of. Bruh. The chairs are lined up neatly for the show, though we know there were a few empty seats during the performance.
Huh, something about this space. The way the seats are arranged. Reminds me of a karaoke contest I entered as a kid.
You entered a karaoke contest.
I sure did, and I came in second. Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight.
Tell me you didn't actually sing that.
I sure did.
She did well to take second place, or perhaps stole is more apt. Or is it more that she failed to steal first place? I'm overthinking this.
Okay, Edgeworth.
Whimper.
It's as bad as it looks, sir. Poor little guy's scared out of his skin.
I'd hoped to have him track that scent again, but that clearly isn't in the cards now.
Whimper.
Mr. Saint used the well to construct a contraption that would send him flying from the stage. It made clever use of 2 ropes. This tarp. It's just like the one we saw in the workshop.
This tarp. It's just like the one we saw in the workshop.
Yes, but why is it here?
But why is it here? Either that or there were only 2 contestants. Yo, that's crazy. Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? You've gone kinda blank.
I intend to stay blank until you stop stealing my thoughts.
Okay, buddy. That's one heavy weight. Kinda makes you think how much this all must be weighing on Simeon.
It does. I'm not quite sure I see it myself.
Oh, too bad we don't have the real thing here. Otherwise, I'd hang it around your neck like a big old albatross. Then we'd see how you like it.
Am I wrong, though? No, that's the thing. You'd face some stiff resistance if you tried. I can promise you that.
Okay. Alright, well... I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna try to connect the stuff. Wait, doesn't this seem odd to you?
No. You haven't noticed, Detective. There's something strange about the weight we found.
How heavy it is, how there's only one, and what it's made of. Okay, so it's not this. How heavy it is technically, but also, like, there's only one, because you could have multiple 30-pound weights. I'm gonna go with the weight, though.
The one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough.
More weight would have been needed to lift Simeon into the air.
A single 30-pound weight couldn't have lifted Mr. Saint off the ground.
Oh, yeah!
In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing?
Sounds like a job for my 7 secret weapons, sir!
Should the need to use them arise, I suppose I should speak with him then. Gummy!
Don't say a word, sir. I know just what you're looking for. It's written all over your face.
Is it? Oh, it is?
Missile may be temporarily out of action, but my fishing rod is good to go whenever you need it. Oh, and if you want to give the metal detector a shot, I have that too.
One of Detective Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons used to find metal. I've never seen him so excited. I'll be sure to let you know if I need either of them, Detective.
I guess these are metal? Okay.
Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons.
Roger that!
The metal detector, if you would be so kind.
Ah, jeez. I'm never gonna get to use my fishing rod.
He wants to use it so bad.
So before we get started, let me run you through how the metal detector works, sir. It's simple enough. It uses this sound. And this gauge to tell you how close you are to something made of metal. The closer you get, the more strongly it'll react when it starts to go wild like this. Just give me the order to examine the spot where I'm standing. Say, what do we got here? Oh, the fence. Anyway, that's how it all works. You tell me where you want me to look, sir, and I'll get right on it. We're close, sir. There's something metallic nearby. I got something. There's something here, sir. Oh! It's a gold coin, sir! What a find! It'll go down in history!
I don't imagine a gold coin would stay hidden long in a prison yard.
Oh, you found it!
Never would have guessed it was hiding there this whole time. That's one of the coins from the big coin hunt we hold once every 2 weeks.
Hey, that sounds kinda interesting. Must be fun for the whole family.
Sure is. The prisoners have to hunt for the coins the warden buries around the yard. And if they find 3 silver coins or 1 gold coin, they can swap them for a jelly donut. First the show, now a treasure hunt. Is this a prison or a playground?
A playground. Alright, let's get back to it. Sir, I'm picking up something over here. Let's take a little look-see. Huh? Found these little guys in the grass.
They're the same as the weight we found by the well. They must be from Mr. Saint's trick. Did someone hide these here on purpose?
I count 4 altogether, sir.
Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut, exactly. I could use my frying pan as a drying pan. Peak Pokemon anime moments.
They would be more than heavy enough to send him flying.
So somebody hid several of the same weights as the one by the well. But why? And why over here?
So Simeon weighs less than 150 pounds? Because they found 4 weights here and there was one over there. Am I doing my math right?
Yes, nice work, me!
Eek! Alligator! That thing nearly gave me a heart attack!
Huh? What's the matter, detective?
It's the metal detector, sir. It's, reacting to the alligator.
The localization error will never not be hilarious. Real.
What? How?
You're sure it's not responding to the weights we just found?
No, sir. I'm sure this is something different. And I'm sure it's coming from the alligator.
Oh, she gone. And she's gone. Kay is so cute.
Ha! We scared that big snapper good. I don't think that's it, Kay. Huh? Then what is it? Allie hasn't been herself lately.
That's the name. Allie, the warden's favorite pet.
She wouldn't even look at the food Warden Lagarde brought her yesterday. She was acting as if, I don't know, as if maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her.
Maybe the metal detector was responding to whatever she ate, sir.
Oh no! What if she ate one of the weights?
I highly doubt that even an alligator could swallow a 30-pound lump of iron. So what did the metal detector actually pick up? And why would someone hide those weights? Perhaps I missed something when I looked at the equipment by the well. Kay, could you recreate the scene again?
Coming right up. Call a vet. Real. Help the alligator. Regina, lock in.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention.
There's only one rope. But I'm gonna save, because I'm scared.
Think about the 2 recreations, the one during the performance and the one we are looking at right now. There's a major difference between the 2. Namely, that one of the ropes is missing.
Oh yeah!
Mr. Saint's trick wouldn't work with only the items we see before us.
So, what happened?
Where did the missing rope go? I think one of the pieces of evidence we've collected might tell us exactly that.
Really?
What shows us where the missing rope went?
Take that!
This rope was found beside Knight's body.
Wait, you mean...
Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick.
So, you're saying...
Yes, that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. Those were hidden in the bushes and replaced with something else.
What was it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, I'm dying here!
Think about what the rope we found in the workshop was related to. Do that, and you'll soon figure out the answer. The weight dropped down the well in place of the iron weights was...
Take that!
My man. It could only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well.
What? Mr. Knight's body was the weight?
Yes, somebody first swapped off the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick. Then Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from the stage. When he let the rope around his body loose, both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. That rope was never used to restrain Knight. It was used to suspend his body halfway down the well. From this, we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden.
So that's why no one would realize they'd been replaced with a body.
Precisely. We can then further deduce that they were hidden by the killer.
Whoa there, gang. Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere, including down the well?
Oh, the killer thought of that, which is why they used this. What did the killer use to stop Knight's blood from going everywhere?
Take that!
This tarp was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped in it.
Ooh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. It's all coming together now. Love it. But all we're doing is proving that the body did go down the well, which means we're helping to prove that Simeon was the killer.
No, not quite.
But what about what Judge Gavelle said yesterday?
Ah, but if Mr. Saint truly is the killer, why would he need to go to such lengths to commit his crime?
That's true.
Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show.
Yeah, I guess we did suspect Mr. Canis right away, huh?
That was all the killer's goal, to make us think that the crime took place during the show. In other words, they used the well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Barry, when exactly did Mr. Saint put his contraption together?
It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yeah, we started getting ready for the show at around 9 p.m. And I think we finished at around midnight?
In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point.
The body was left dangling inside the well the night before the incident. Used during the show to send Saint flying, the weights were replaced with the victim's body by someone.
Did Canis know about this contraption? Even if he did, he wouldn't have been able to do much with it. And I highly doubt that he taught his dog to suspend bodies halfway down wells. Which means Canis isn't the killer.
That's what he told you. Okay, both of these were done the night before. Does that mean there's a correlation between them? Time to see. Apparently so.
The basket was moved the night before the circus performance, and we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time.
Hard to chalk that up to coincidence, huh?
Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door, which can only mean
that somebody needed to open it. Now let's see what's... Oh, great. It's locked. Let me ask a guard for help. Hey, Mr. Guard!
Yes, miss? What can I do for you? That was fast. Guard, where's the key for this door?
Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it.
Warden Lagarde is the only one with a key. Meaning, if somebody did open the door, they would have had to get it from her somehow.
Thanks for the help.
Look at all these breakers. They must control the electricity for the whole prison.
So we're thinking somebody got in here the night before the show, right? But why? What were they trying to do?
Well, I doubt they came here by mistake, thinking it was a break room. They must have come to tamper with the switches.
Did they turn off the power to something?
Come to think of it, wasn't there something that lost power? What might have lost power had a breaker been flipped?
So crazy how they chose to stab the guy with a neck brace in the neck to kill him. Plenty of other vitals they could have gone for. Yeah, not their brightest moment, but yeah, no.
Take that!
There was a 3-hour gap in the security camera footage.
Oh yeah, there was! So somebody flipped the breaker it was connected to.
It seems very likely.
Do you think it was the killer?
It's true that shutting off the cameras would have made things easier for them.
It would!
Which means the killer would have had to be someone who had access to the breakers. And it seems only one person has the key. It couldn't be, could it?
Located in the power room just off the prison yard, where they tampered with the night before the body was found. All right, little thief, your work here is done.
Let's go.
First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm.
Good morning, Mr. Winner.
What? You! How'd you get in here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start. And I see you've made a late one, Judge Cavell.
Crazy!
This is not my only case. I am a very busy woman. Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor relieved of his only current responsibility.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I do apologize. I meant, of course, an associate attorney.
Associate. More like asinine.
We'll see about that. Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard.
Okay, I'll go get some of the officers to help.
Hold it!
That won't be necessary.
Why not?
We've already finished investigating the yard and won quite the prize in the process.
One? But I'm supposed to be the winner.
Your Honor. Oh. I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday in order to thoroughly disprove it. I would caution you chose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you remember your badge is in my hands. How could I forget? You've told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat. You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination. The fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now. The only thing that concerns me is proving Simeon Saint's innocence. Interesting. And spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I'm done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this.
Judge Cavell's theory.
My theory remains the same as when I related it to you yesterday. Mr. Carcerado did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel.
I like that there's a blue parakeet just perched. Little guy.
As such, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint. That's still your assertion, and you can prove it, of course.
Of course she can! Who do you think you're up against?
There's two of them!
Oh my gosh. Cute.
What Eustace means to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival. She really is a very busy woman, busy looking after baby Winner. The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the night before the show. The cause of death is as stated. It seems the wound is 4 inches deep.
Estimated time of death is between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the 27th. Instant death from a stab wound to the neck.
Simeon Saint was off stage for a period of 15 minutes. That was plenty of time for him to throw the victim's body down the well. Judge Cavell hasn't investigated the yard yet, which means... I fear there may be something of a flaw with your theories, Your Honor. You seem very confident of that.
Ooh, what?
No! History! But do you have any evidence to prove it? Yes, I think I just might. Okay.
The body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down the show was Mr. Saint. Okay. Why would you put the power room inside the prison where inmates could get to it? Terrible design. Well, they did say the warden is the only one with the key, so at least that's something. Like, yeah, they probably shouldn't have put it there, but she's the only one with the key, so they can't really access it.
Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption. A contraption? Go on. You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by the elephant. I do. Just before he was to be absent for some time.
They could pick the lock? Maybe. But also, like, maybe it's not, like, a physical key? Like, what if it's, like, an electronic key or something? They didn't really say. They just said that it is locked. And the warden is the only one with a key. So it could be, like, a key card or something.
He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick.
Objection!
Wait! Where did that sent him flying as soon as he set foot on the stage.
Hold it.
It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With a second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest that the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer in order to create an alibi.
There's a cockatiel up there too. What the heck?
The estimated time of death tells us that the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show.
Objection.
You're saying that Mr. Saint himself set this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think's the #1 most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body, Even you must see how this looks.
If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Cavell theorized without these extra steps. Miss Barry,
Yes?
does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works?
Well, let's see. We had to get the prison's approval on what we were going to perform. An inmate could attack them as soon as they unlock it. Mass prison break waiting to happen. Yeah, but it hasn't happened, so it must be working. So I don't think Simeon's the only one who knows.
And there you have it. Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. And yet, I fail to comprehend your actions still. Why do you not work to do what is right? Is what I'm doing wrong? If so, who is it that deems it so? How can you not grasp even that? How can you not see that you are doing wrong at this very moment? You are a prosecutor, and yet you aid the defense. This flies in the face of common sense. You are breaking every rule in the book. I think only of what is right and just, and act as I see fit in each situation I am confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whether you can comprehend that choice is immaterial.
It should still be on the outside to negate that risk. It should have, yeah.
But if you mean to stand in my way, I will fight back with all I can bring to bear. Perhaps the goddess of justice is testing me. Very well. If it is her will that we must fight, then I shall end this once and for all. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, for there is another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer.
Why Saint is the suspect.
If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint, and thus he remains the only plausible suspect. Mr. Saint took a cage with him to Mr. Knight's cell, but why would he do that? Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cells?
Yeah, it is pretty sus.
But we've all met Mr. Saint. That's exactly the kind of thing he would do. It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else. It may be plausible, but it is no more or less plausible than him having helped Mr. Knight to escape. I need some real solid evidence if I'm going to get her to budge.
The Mr. Knight must have brought the yard to his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint. Okay, but like the tunnel though. But maybe I should press first?
Hold it.
Was there really no other way he could have come here? Mr. Knight was awaiting his trial. If he, a random non-inmate, had openly entered the prison proper, he surely would have been noticed. And presumably none of your witnesses have testified of seeing such a thing. Precisely. Praise be to the goddess of justice for granting you this insight. So, as you will agree, it can only be that Mr. Knight was brought over here in secret.
Hold it.
You're certain nobody else had the opportunity? Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted.
Hold it.
But Mr. Saint was under the same scrutiny, was he not? The warden has granted the members of the circus troupe special access. As a member of that troupe, under the supervision of Miss Barry, he is the only person who is free to wander where he willed.
Objection.
It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honor. Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth. Very well, then recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who was free to walk around the prison. But there was a brief period of time on the day of the crime in this prison. A time when it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored. What do I have that shows there was a period on the day of the crime where the oversight was limited?
The breakers or this thing? Probably this, since it says there's a 3-hour gap in the footage.
Take that!
Mr. Saint is far from the only one who had the opportunity.
Which opportunity are we talking about again?
We'd previously established that the time code on the security footage was off by 3 hours, and from this we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected. Do you mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? That it was no simple camera malfunction? Is that even possible? It was completely possible to create the 3-hour gap using this.
Take that!
Our investigation of the yard turned up something rather interesting. A panel of breakers, one which can be used to cut the power to the security cameras. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been opened at around the time of the murder.
What?
Such a shame to see one so capable fall so short of the mark.
Mr. Edgeworth knows what he's doing.
Then how does he explain the lock on the power room door?
Oh yeah, it was kind of locked up tight. And the warden's the only one with the key.
Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure, so I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily.
Objection!
No, but one person could have. I beg your pardon? That person, the killer, had easy access to it, in fact. And what's more, their position here is such that nobody would dare question them.
Objection!
What? There's no one like that! The breaker to the electric fence is in there! They would be questioned in an instant!
There's only one person who meets this criteria. These criteria. I could hardly believe it myself, but I have to follow where the logic leads. The person who had access to the power room key was...
Warden Lagarde!
Take that!
The real culprit is...
Jetter missile!
Warden Lagarde. Oh, just look at you! Aren't you the cutest little poochie-woo? He's not just a pretty face. Missile also has quite the nose for sweet things. It seems he's smelling something very sweet indeed, and it's coming from you.
Yeah, sick of missile!
Oh, darling, you're making me blush. I'm not even wearing perfume. Then perhaps it is the sweet stench of death. You're a regular poet, aren't you? I had no idea. But if I didn't know better, I'd almost think you were calling moi the killer. That is precisely what I'm calling you. I love that the music just stops.
What?
Warden Lagarde is the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, do you realize what you're saying? Such a naughty boy. How could he suspect me? I'm the one who's in charge around here. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we? And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous.
Hold it!
Sadly, it is not, although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points, and we must trust in the evidence. This piece of evidence proves that Warden Lagarde is the killer. I don't know.
Take that!
Oop, nope.
Missile smelled something on Warden Lagarde. Oh, it's the scent. Okay, cool. Okay.
In Save Scum we trust.
Indeed. Okay, yeah, this is the only thing that says there was a sweet scent.
Take that!
Your scent betrays you, Warden. And here is your accuser. The police dog. We had him track a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent, and it's coming from you. Oh, darling, you're priceless. Really, you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion. Verity, dear, do put him in his place. It seems Judge Cavell may have reached a similar conclusion to myself.
You believe this to be no mere coincidence, Mr. Edgeworth?
I do. After all, she has the key, and the scent found lingering on the body is hers as well. Were it just one or the other, we might have been able to brush it off as coincidence, however.
Indeed. Then it seems a conclusion approaches. Perhaps we should hear what the warden has to say for herself.
We should, and when we have, this case will finally be at an end.
You're all being simply awful. Stop looking at me like that. Me, the killer. How could I possibly do such a thing? I didn't do it. Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by your logic, I would have had to kill him there. But how am I supposed to remove the body? Especially as I never went into the prison. I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere of me having entered or left the prison proper. I haven't the first idea what harebrained theories you little scamps have cooked up, but I'm innocent. There's simply no way I could be the killer.
Give me a break! Missile doesn't lie! Don't make it hard on everyone and just come clean!
Oh dear, I'm afraid you're the one making this difficult. As I just said, I never went into the prison. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and check the records.
She clearly wants us to check those records, which means they won't help us. We'll just have to find another way of getting the truth out of her.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, stop being a big silly. You've made a boo-boo and you know it.
Let's see. The victim died in his cell.
Hold it!
The murder took place in his cell. You seem very happy to accept that.
And why shouldn't I be? It seems the most likely place for it to have happened without drawing attention. And besides, they found Knight's blood in his cell.
Yes, but that was from being struck by Mr. Carcerado. Though I needn't tell her that, I suppose. I take it there's also been no testimony to the contrary.
What does it matter? Knight being killed in his cell doesn't go against any of the facts anyway.
Okay, Knight died in his cell. But the tarp was bloody and it was wrapped around him when he was in the well. So he was probably killed before that. Is it the autopsy? This was recorded at 9 a.m. He was killed before that. Let's press it the next statement.
Hold it!
Do you have any evidence that you didn't enter the prison?
Please, darling, let me finish.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I think it's this then. Is it just the autopsy?
Objection!
Nope.
Hold it!
Colorful tarp. Bloody. Maybe it's not this.
Hold it!
So you were in your office the whole time, and you didn't notice anything unusual.
Isn't the autopsy report... It isn't the autopsy report. Clearly we need to update it. Real. No, I can't say that I did.
And you didn't notice anything missing.
I must confess I'm a rather messy girl. And a forgetful one at that. I put something down and it's lost forever. It's a curse, darling, a curse. I even lost some important evidence recently. It was gone. Poof, just like that.
What? And she still has a job?
Honestly, if somebody came into my office and took something, it might be years before I noticed.
Seems I'll need more than the power More than the power room key to expose her. On the day of the murder, I was working in my office. Oh, and looking for something I'd misplaced. Even if I had a reason to go into the prison, I simply wouldn't have at the time.
Can you explain what you lost?
Hold it.
Not just tell me that it's important evidence?
Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison, but what if you took another route? Oh, come on now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered.
Not something she should have admitted, yeah. Especially in the presence of a prosecutor, a defense attorney, another prosecutor, and a judge.
Why, until yesterday, I had no idea it even existed. No, I had another way in, I'm certain of it. A route that didn't require going through the main entrance or the tunnel. The route you took went through this location.
Aw. The yard.
Take that.
Through the fence. Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him to your office, which just happened to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel. A gold star for creativity, darling. And how would I have gotten through the fence? The extremely high fence, topped with razor wire, with thousands of volts of electricity going through it.
Yeah, how's she supposed to have gotten through that,
The fence's electricity supply could be cut off from the power room, and only you had the key, Warden. No one but you could have done it. Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden Lagarde was on the detention center side. How would she have reached the power room? Exactly, Verity, darling. Well, clever puss, you've dug yourself a real hole now. If there's no record of Warden Lagarde having entered the prison proper, then the idea that she could have shut off the fence by using the breaker is out of the question. But there must have been some way she could have done it.
Take a deep breath, big guy. Lose your cool and you've lost everything.
But if I don't find a solution, she might still wriggle out of this.
Hey, I said take a deep breath, not freak out and completely lose your cool. There's nothing to be gained by banging your head against the same wall, yeah?
No matter how you look at it, Warden Lagarde couldn't have done it alone. Mr. Edgeworth, if you cannot find out... You aren't doing yourself any favors by obstructing justice with your silence. That was a reflexive objection. But now that I've yelled it, if I don't come up with an answer, it's all over. I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me. Something that explains how the warden could have shut off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence. Yes, because it's not as impossible as it seems. What enabled her to shut off the breaker?
Her position and accomplice in the time of the murder. Friend.
She couldn't have done it alone. But what if she wasn't alone?
Ooh, now we're talking. Way to flex the old gray matter, kiddo.
I believe that
Wow.
Warden Lagarde had an accomplice. Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth.
What do you mean? Mr. Edgeworth has said nothing wrong.
The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets.
The ones that raise the alarm if people go where they're not supposed to...
I see that you've realized your error, and we are, of course, within the prison grounds, where not only are the bracelets worn, but even the guards survey each other for signs of wrongdoing. Despite all that, no one noticed Mr. Carcerado's escape. The only ones who are free to roam are the animals, and they most certainly could not have operated the breaker. No, so our accomplice must be human. Then who did it, given that it cannot have been a prisoner or a guard? I wouldn't be so quick to rule out either, Your Honor. The fact is, there's one person, someone whose movements weren't restricted. And I have just the evidence to show who that free-roaming person was.
Frankie Wanky.
This is one of the prisoner's bracelets. Indeed, a broken bracelet belonging to a certain self-proclaimed model prisoner. What do you mean? And who is this prisoner? Frank saw it, Warden Lagarde's favorite inmate. It's strange, isn't it, Warden, that he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander freely around the prison all the while.
That is pretty funky, and I don't mean in a good way.
It couldn't be the case that it was permitted That he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it? Although, you are in the habit of giving such leeway to certain others. Bodhidharma Canis, for example. Mr. Edgeworth, that is pure speculation. In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sawat himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Warden Lagarde were accomplices in this crime. If the two of them had worked together, a certain route in the prison becomes viable. The real route by which Knight was moved from his cell to the prison proper. Recall that there were two big obstacles in her path. First, the security camera outside Knight's cell. Second, the electrified fence in the yard. But she was able to remove both obstacles in one fell swoop, by having Mr. Sawat shut off the corresponding breakers. All right, Mr. Edgeworth, you've had your fun. And do you still deny it, Warden Lagarde? No, darling. You've got me. I admit it. Warden, tell me this isn't true. Sorry, Verity, honey. I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it.
No way! You did it, Mr. Edgeworth! You got her! Nice shooting, cowboy. She won't be wriggling out of this one now.
As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breakers, but we didn't kill Knight, did we? No, sweetums, no we didn't. What? Warden, explain yourself. Oh, Verity dear, I doubt your precious goddess will want to hear my excuses now. She is all-merciful. You have but to confess, and you shall be saved. Oh, gosh, all right. I was being threatened. I had no choice but to do as he said.
Who's he?
Bodhidharma Canis, that awful assassin. Canis. How long has it been since that awful man came here to my beautiful prison? I'll never forget the day he arrived. The moment we were alone, he said this to me. You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs not confined to this fine institution. Others? Yes, very loyal dogs. Dogs who will do anything I ask of them. Of course, he wasn't talking about real dogs. He was talking about his very human cronies. And then he said one last thing. I would recommend that you take care in how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to set my dogs on you, or your precious family. I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for. Everything. Wait, is that how he became the fixer? Yes, darling. I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all that he wanted. Eventually, I brought dear sweet Frankie into our little conspiracy. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him, too. So you were smuggling in contraband? How exactly? Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the packages down the well in the prison side and went back through the fence. Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume. So that's what the sweet smell was. Yes, it was a signal for Canis's dog. When he picked up the scent, he would fetch the packages and bring them back to his master. We had to make sure Rocco wasn't in his cell that time, of course.
Can't have been easy keeping him from finding out.
Oh, we're all very much creatures of habit here, the prison, darling. Everything runs to a schedule. Meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. And that adorable little bear of his freezes with fright at the sight of Canis's dog, poor thing. So there was no risk of him raising the alarm either. She has oversight over everything here at the prison, which made her the perfect mule. With her on his side, Canis couldn't fail. Frankie would sneak out again early in the morning to switch the breakers back on, and our work was done. Apart from fixing the time codes on the cameras, which I would do later when I got the chance. You have shared a great deal, Warden. The Goddess of Justice will surely take your honesty into account. I've been the most dreadful fool, I know I have. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. The day of Knight's murder was also one of our delivery days. And so, Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard. So that's the secret behind the fixer's system. And why she was... The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word. That's why you were interrogating Mr. Cadis over and over. Exactly. I was trying to track down those horrible hench people of his. I borrowed everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote. His letters. Then I suppose she must know about his correspondence chess games, too. But no matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, it's... Oh, you just can't comprehend it. As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth, the words of Warden Lagarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion. Surely there is no need to hound her any longer. Has she really been cleared of all suspicion, though? Or is there more about her to uncover? There's more! I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this conversation isn't over yet, and I think the Goddess of Justice would agree. So you mean to make her suffer even more than she already has? Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Canis does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. She admitted herself that she knew of, and even facilitated, the so-called Fixer's delivery route. I believe she used that same route to move Knight's body. And where's your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? It's in the fact that the sweet smell on Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden Lagarde uses to signal a delivery. What do you make of that? Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole well probably smells of it. Some of it must have just rubbed off on his body. That does match the statement that Mr. Carcerado provided. Smell. Yeah, it always smelled kinda nice down there. Nice. Gee, I don't know. Smelled sorta like dessert, I guess. His words would seem to suggest that the smell had permeated the well. Ugh! You've been rendered speechless, I see. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court. No! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? What can I do? Is this as far as we can go? Finally! So we're actually done? Yes, Eustace. It seems we are. By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned. Who was that? Let's go. Come on, Judge G. Things are just getting good. Fender, are you objecting to my adjourning this session? No. Would've shouted objection if I wanted to do that. You do you, G, adjourn. No, you do you, G. Adjourn, don't adjourn. Whatever floats your boat. What are you doing, Mr. Fender? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Let's all just take a chill pill, shall we? By which I mean a square of chocolatey goodness, anyone? Are you trying to get yourself charged with contempt of court? No, my bad. I just had a quick request to make is all. The Simeon Saint's lawyer, that is. Ah, yes. I had forgotten that you were his real attorney, Mr. Fender. How could you? You're killing me here. Can you blame us? You've been making Mr. Edgeworth do everything this whole time. Right you are, which is why I figured it's time to put in some work. Work, you say? Somehow I don't believe you've worked a day in your life. Ugh, crazy. And let's say this is me doing some prep work for the upcoming trial. Mind if I question the witness? Now? Amusing, but what is there left to ask? I've got a feeling in my funny bone that Fief's here has something more to tell us about the killer. Do I? Yes, indeed. See, as a major player on Team Simeon, I can spot a sympathizer when I see one. And you don't think he did it, do you? So tell us, who did? Come on, spill the beans. We're all ears. Mr. Edgeworth, what's he doing? He's trying to coax Warden Lagarde into giving something away. Ask yourself, why would she go through all the trouble of sending Knight's body on such an odd journey? It's because she wanted to frame Mr. Canis. She did? No way! If he was convicted of committing murder here, that could have been grounds for a transfer to another prison. Most likely a more secure facility. And where he'd be out of her hair forever, huh? Precisely. She saw her opportunity and seized it. No. Saint can't not be the killer. That's not fair! I was all ready to prosecute him! I know, right? But maybe we should find out what she thinks first.
Don't want to get the wrong guy, yeah? Heh, nice! Now Mr. Winter has to go along with it too.
Well, Warden, are you happy to testify further?
Of course! How could I refuse this silver-tongued devil? Eddykins, you have such a way with words. Just doing my job, thief.
Besides, one can't tell the truth without telling the whole truth, can one? I'm simply dying to tell all.
Verity, darling, do say you'll let me.
As you wish. Court is unadjourned.
I can't believe you pulled that off, Mr. Fender. Phew, me either.
Thank you for the timely intervention.
Hey, it's the least I could do. Case not wrong. I've been leaning on you hard. And besides, the defense never rests, am I right? Simeon's dependent on us. Sadly, I think I just about exhausted my reserves of cool lawyer chat there, and we can't foul this up now. Which means you're up to bat, Miles McSmiles. Show him that never rest spirit.
I shall. Fabulous! Then let's get started. My truth. I really don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man, Canis. There's no telling what went on between him and the victim. Perhaps he simply took a disliking to him. He's certainly the type. But whatever the sordid details, it was him. He stabbed that poor man to death. And then he had his dog dispose of the body. That simply has to be what happened. The victim, Mr. Knight, yes. I did him the most terrible disservice. Yes, you killed him. I suppose you could put it that way. If I weren't such a sorry excuse for a warden, this would have never happened. And that's why I have to clean up this terrible mess. Warden Lagarde. As ever, your honesty is truly to your credit. I'm certain Mr. Knight is looking down and weeping tears of gratitude. Girl! You've clearly never met Mr. Knight. Knight was being kept in a holding cell while Mr. Canis was in the prison proper. What could possibly have happened between them when they were at opposite ends of the facility? Prisons aren't as big as they seem, you know. All kinds of awful things can happen. But Knight only arrived 2 days before he was murdered. I can't imagine anything significant happening in that short space of time.
Thank you for the hydrate and stretch kimono.
Then you don't know Canis, my dear. He'll find a way. Oh, he'd find a way. I'm sure of it.
Hold it!
How could he take a disliking to somebody all the way over in the holding cells? Oh, I'm just plucking possibilities out of the air, darling. As I said, there's no telling what really went on between them. You're so awfully serious, aren't you? Not that I mind, of course. Why is she looking at me like that? So noble, so dashing in that marvelous suit, so clever. I can feel myself becoming your biggest fan, darling. I really can.
No. Stay with me, Mr. Edgeworth.
I wasn't prepared for that mental onslaught.
Hold it!
What more can you tell us about these sordid details? Well, we all know what Canis once did for a living. I doubt the killing part gave him much trouble. Especially as the victim was already injured. His neck, I think. Couldn't turn his head to the right, poor dear. That's what they told me when they brought him in anyway. We must make some sort of report for the warden when new prisoners are admitted. You seem keen for us to think you didn't know much about Knight. That's because I didn't, sweetie. And the victim was simply a fun target to that monster, nothing more. I expect Canis used the chisel that was hidden in the chess set, don't you? Awful, grisly business. Just imagine, the man probably didn't even have time to cry out. I see. Thank you for your thoughts. They were very helpful. Actually, I'd like to hear about them in a little more detail, if you don't mind. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're making me blush. I could chat with you all day. Oh, don't look so nervous, darling. I'm only teasing. Of course we could talk about them some more. I expect Canis used the chisel that was hidden in the chess set, don't you?
Hold it!
And which chess set would that be, precisely? Why, the one the victim brought in, sweetie. Do try to keep up. The victim was a certified chess fanatic, or so I'm led to believe. But the naughty boy snuck a chisel inside it. Can you imagine? How does she know about the chisel in the chess set? Only a few people were supposed to know about that. After all, we only learned about it thanks to certain deductions we made. So how did she find out? Of course, in the hands of a killer like Canis, even a chisel could serve as a deadly weapon. Is it just the chess set?
Objection!
Okay, I guess it is. Warden Lagarde, you strike me as being more careful than the image you project suggests. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, please! Call me Fifi. Or Sweetie Pie, if you prefer. However, I think you may have been a little less careful than you realize in this instance. Dee! Aren't you just the most adorable little creature? Don't be embarrassed. We're all family here.
Oh. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't let her get inside your head.
You said earlier that you didn't know much about Knight. In which case, I find it rather strange that you know about the chisel. Well, of course I do, darling. Do you think we don't check prisoners when they come in?
Objection!
You're not talking your way out of this, Warden. That is entirely irrelevant, and you know it. Knight didn't bring the chess set into the prison himself. It was brought by Mr. Saint when he came to visit. Knight wouldn't have had it with him when he arrived. What? I mean, of course, that when Mr. Saint came in, we...
Objection!
You checked him. I find that hard to believe, because if you did, that makes your story all the stranger. If you found the chisel, why did you not confiscate it there and then? Eek! Judge Gavel, did you tell anyone about the hidden compartment in the chess set? I did not. If no one leaked our findings, then how exactly did you learn about the chisel, Warden Lagarde? Because it certainly couldn't have been when you checked Knight or Mr. Saint on their arrival. Indeed, such a thing would imply an intentional oversight if it had been found, yet let through. Precisely. So, Warden Lagarde, and answer truthfully this time. Where and when did you learn about the chess set? If you won't answer, then allow me. I submit that you... All right, darling. There's no need to rub it in. You got me, all right? I questioned Knight. That was when I learned about the chess set. But please, you have to believe me. I did not kill him. One moment, Warden. This is a significant development. The court requests that you make a detailed statement on the record. Any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? None, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you, darlings. I'll clean up this awful misunderstanding. I promise. Very well. Go ahead, Warden Lagarde. And please, tell the truth this time. Her lies are starting to wear thin. This is my chance to expose her. My truth part 2. I said I questioned Knight, but it wasn't anything serious, you understand. I make a point of talking to every newcomer to our little home. Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. And after we talked, I had him taken back to his cell straight away. The more she lies, the more thoroughly she seals her fate. So it was simply a conversation with the new detainee. That seems entirely above board. Exactly, Verity, darling. I knew you'd understand.
Objection!
Well, I don't. What proof do you have to back up your statement? I suppose we shall see, won't we, Mr. Edgeworth? You may begin your cross-examination.
Alright, what'd you talk about?
How was he when you spoke with him? Oh, he was so open and honest, darling.
What?
That guy? Honest? He was talking about one croissant and promoting a prawn. I suppose he must have been hungry. And en passant and promoting a pawn. It seems he spared no one from his obsession with chess. Uncroissant.
Hold it!
If he really had gone back to his cell, he would still be alive today. You really think I murdered the poor man right there in my office, don't you? But what would my motive have been, darling? I told you I barely knew him. I'm no angel. I have my grudges against Canis, but Knight had nothing to do with that animal. She really does hate Canis. Poisson! Warden Lagarde, I must insist that you append that statement to your testimony. I'm no angel. I have my grudges against Canis, but Knight had nothing to do with that animal. Aha. But what if? What if? What if he did?
Objection!
Judge Cavell, I'd like you to take a look at this. Notes about a game of chess. What is the significance of this, Mr. Edgeworth? It was found in Knight's cell, which is exactly where you said you saw it too, Warden Lagarde. But you didn't just see this game in Knight's cell, did you? You've seen it in Mr. Canis' cell too. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. Don't tell me you haven't taken a look at the chessboard in maximum security. I imagine you watch his every move like a hawk. Or rather, I imagine you feel that doing so is your only option.
If she wants to find out who his cronies are, right?
Personally interrogating your own prisoners is highly irregular, to say the least. But as you said, Mr. Canis had threatened you. He put your precious home at risk. That's why you took it upon yourself to question him. You wanted to find out who his dogs were.
And so what if I did?
You also told us that you read his letters, which means you must have known about one key fact. You knew he was playing correspondence chess.
Ah!
And then, who should appear but Knight, carrying with him a diagram of a very particular game. We ourselves used that diagram to infer a connection between the two men, and it seems you came to the same conclusion. But in your fear, you took your reasoning one step further. You surmised that Knight was Mr. Canis' henchman, sent to kill you.
Which is the real reason she had that chat with the Bronxster. If his boss wouldn't crack, maybe he would.
And when you questioned Knight, you made another discovery. For there, inside his chess set, you found a hidden chisel. The murder weapon itself! As far as you were concerned, that chisel meant one thing. Canis. Thus, you convinced yourself that Knight was working for Canis, and that is why you killed him. I see you have no more excuses. Judge Cavell, your verdict, please. Much as it grieves me, there would appear to be little room for doubt. I hereby give my verdict. Bronco Knight was murdered by...
In the name of the goddess of justice, who is it this time?
Warden. It's a joke. It's all a big, stupid joke. You people just don't get it, do you? I think we've proven that it's you who didn't understand things correctly. Me? Please, darling. I understand it all perfectly well, thank you very much.
And I understand that there's a glaring contradiction in your theory, Mr. Edgeworth.
You're just grasping at straws now. I have no time for this. Your Honor, the verdict. I am curious to hear what the warden has to say.
What?
You're a doll, Verity. I just have one last thing to say. Then Mr. Edgeworth can declare himself the winner.
You rang?
Does anybody remember a certain autopsy report? Of course. We received the finalized version only this morning. That's right, and I was listening to what you told us about it, Verity, even if no one else was. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? Wait. Riddle me this, Mr. Edgeworth. How does a tiny chisel make a 4-inch wound?
No!
She's gonna update it. The autopsy report has been updated. Forgive me, O goddess. I came perilously close to making a terrible mistake. Looks like your theory is the one that doesn't hold water, Edgeworth. What now,
What do we do?
It'll be fine. Mr. Edgeworth always comes through. Right, sir?
Looks to me like the Milesatron's out of commission. You're an attorney too, aren't you? Why don't you do something? Turn things on their head with a desperate bluff. Blurt out the first mind-blowing thing that comes to you.
Oh, Gumshoe. He's been indoctrinated.
Look, detective, I'm as much of a man of action as the next guy. But without evidence, we're up a creek without a paddle here. This might be the end of the road. We can't give up now. We have to do something.
I'm certain that Warden Lagarde is the killer. It's the only explanation that fits the facts of this case. But if the chisel wasn't the murder weapon, what other bladed weapon is there in this facility? It seems we still do not have all the answers, nor the evidence to prove those answers. Alas, we must wait until the trial to see this matter resolved, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Why does he sound like that? Oh, come on, G. You're just giving the killer a chance to destroy the evidence.
Are you calling the judicial process into question, Mr. Fender?
Yeep. Nope, not me. Nuh-uh. I tried, Miles. Any bright ideas?
What is the real murder weapon, since it clearly is not the chisel? Confound it! This question throws everything we've deduced out the window. Nothing to add, Mr. Edgeworth? Allow me to remind you that claims not supported by sufficient evidence are subject to the harshest penalties. It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. I need more time. Loath as I am to admit it,
You can't give up now. Remember what Mr. Fender said. Simeon's counting on us. Without us, he's... Remember how upset he was? He was devastated. Nobody's in more pain than him. Oh, nobody's in more pain than him over Mr. Knight's death. There's no way he did it. But if we can't save him, who will? And what's more, he believes in us. He's sitting in that cell waiting for us to bring him some good news. And I, for one, won't walk away until we have some.
Kay.
Gee, Miles, your little buddy there is quite the motivational speaker. And she's right, too. When you find yourself on the ropes, think of your client. Picture them pleading with you to help them. Doesn't that make you want to fight back as hard as you can until the very end? Think of your old man, good old Gregory. No matter how bad things looked, he'd always find a way to turn it around and save his client. And you're just like him, right? If there's any way to force a turnabout here, you're the one who'll find it. Simeon's counting on you.
Judge Cavell. You seem to have recovered your composure, Mr. Edgeworth. But if you mean to attempt a defense, I would advise you to consider the ramifications. You have repeatedly proposed misguided theories and have made numerous false accusations.
He said the T-word! Turnabout Edgeworth.
If you do so again, I will have no choice but to judge you unfit to serve as a prosecutor, and relieve you of your badge for good. She's right. I have put forward a number of theories that prove to be flawed in one way or another. Have I made some sort of fundamental oversight? Wait, she said my theories were misguided. Nothing to say? Then the court will tolerate no more of your time wasting. I hereby—
Sir! Mr. Edgeworth!
Give my verdict. That's it. I've been thinking about it the wrong way all this time. My theories weren't misguided. I was being misled. The defendant, Simeon Saint. I think it's a little soon for that, Your Honor.
What would that man do? He who shall not be named.
I'd say it's well past due, darling. Wouldn't you agree, Verity? Mr. Edgeworth, you may proceed.
What?
I'd like to remind you of a few things. The sighting of his dog, Helmut, the fact that he wasn't at the show. These and other factors make Mr. Canis the obvious suspect at first. This again, Mr. Edgeworth? You seem almost proud of your blunder.
Hold it!
But what if the real killer wanted us to suspect Mr. Canis? What if it was all carefully arranged? And what if the same was true of the chisel, our purported murder weapon? Knight had been stabbed multiple times in the same place with a bladed instrument. What if he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon had been removed? Just to leave traces of blood on it for us to find. That was how the killer misled us into thinking the chisel is the murder weapon. But why mislead us in this way? Why indeed? Why make us think the chisel is the murder weapon rather than whatever was really used?
To get Canis transferred.
Warden, you took advantage of what the chisel seemed to suggest. What it suggested? What are you talking about, darling?
Hold it!
Mr. Winner, if I were to tell you the murder weapon was a chisel, what would you think?
Huh? That Mr. Canis is the killer?
And there you have it. That was the trap the warden set for us.
Oh! Mr. Canis had a bunch of chisels, so she wanted us to think it was one of his, right?
Indeed. That was her plan right from the start. To frame Bodhidharma Canis. Your reasoning would appear to be sound. Warden Lagarde certainly seemed to harbor a deep and abiding hatred for Mr. Canis. However, I think you know what I'm going to say next. That alone is not sufficient proof that Warden Lagarde is the killer. I knew that wouldn't be enough. There's only one thing that'll prove it. The real murder weapon that we now know must exist. If you cannot prove your theory, then this conversation ends here. If we could just find the real murder weapon.
How many times do we have to go over this? We searched this prison from top to bottom.
Eustace is quite correct. No other possible murder weapon has been found, so I'm afraid you're at a bit of an impasse. I can still prove my case yet, Your Honor, because it's still here inside the prison. This would have made sure of that.
The security gate?
I'm glad you at least remember what it is. And do you remember what it does?
Of course I do! I'm not an idiot! The security gate detects metal! Which means you can't bring anything metal into the prison, or take it out. Oh!
Precisely. If there is another murder weapon, it could not have been taken off the premises. X'd it out. But nor can it have been brought into the prison in the first place. And so we find ourselves right back where we began. Judge Cavell. What I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth, is that if you wish me to believe that there is another murder weapon here in the prison, you will also have to explain to me how it got here. Alright, we know that the chisel was smuggled into the prison inside a pocket chess set, but our contention is that the chisel is not the real murder weapon. So if the weapon came from outside the facility, then there must have been a way to bring it in. Yes, the question of the hour is this. Can you show me this alternate route? How did the weapon Warden Lagarde used get into the prison? You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation. Is that correct? Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. Of course, that's how. The fact that this is here with us shows how a bladed object could have been brought to the facility as well.
Take that!
Allow me to remind you of our conversation with Mr. Canis yesterday. Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence. Just two. Two and only two. One for my knife, and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted. Utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me. So you see, there is a way for objects to be brought into the prison unscrutinized. As part of the evidence, Warden Lagarde borrowed from the police.
What?
Mr. Canis' knife was part of the evidence in the case against him, and that evidence was here in the prison. Not only that, but the knife had a certain bell attached to it. The bell that was attached to the chisel. Correct. The killer took the bell from the knife and attached it to the chisel.
But that can't be right. The chisel only had Mr. Knight's fingerprints on it.
Easy enough to explain if the killer wore gloves. She made it look as if the chisel was the murder weapon and then attached the bell to it. In doing so, she made sure that all the evidence pointed to Mr. Canis. And who had access to the evidence from which the bell was taken? Why, only the person to whom it had been entrusted.
Who was it, sir? Who's been messing with the evidence?
I believe that would be you. Isn't that correct, Warden Lagarde?
Bells aren't exactly rare, you know. Anybody could have set that up.
Unluckily for you, that isn't quite true. These particular bells are unique, because there are only two of them in existence.
What?
By attaching that bell to the chisel, you as good as declared yourself the killer.
But you don't have any proof that the knife was ever here to begin with.
I don't. Not yet, anyway. Mr. Winner, I'd like you to order another search of the prison right away.
Huh? But if you do find something, that's going to make things awkward for me.
This isn't about what's convenient for you. We have to find the truth. You're a prosecutor, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but, you know.
This worthless excuse for a prosecutor? If I had investigative authority, I wouldn't be sitting on it.
Anyhow, it's not my decision to make. The warden would have to authorize it.
You know full well that she will do no such thing. You have the power to insist upon a search. Use it!
Sorry, darling, but not without that evidence.
The goddess of justice cannot bestow her blessings on those who lack the proof to support their claims. Our work here is done. The rest of this matter will have to be settled in the courtroom. No, if we give Lagarde the opportunity, she'll destroy whatever evidence is left. I have to object. I have to stop them. What do I say? I don't have anything concrete to offer. What am I thinking? I've never I'm never this reckless. No, I can't back down now. I've got to put everything on the line. I'm not a prosecutor right now. I'm an associate attorney with a client to defend. Only I can save Mr. Saint. And that means... even if my chances are 1,000,000 to 1, it's still worth a shot. It's now or never. Should I object?
Yeah.
Always. I suppose this must be how a certain serial bluffer always feels. Regardless, I cannot walk away.
Objection!
Wait, Your Honor. This had better be good, Mr. Edgeworth. I've got it. Got... what exactly? The real murder weapon, of course. I know where Mr. Canis's knife is.
Do you really, Mr. Edgeworth?
I do. Not at all. If I didn't know better, I would say that you were bluffing. You wound me, Your Honor. I don't know the meaning of the word. Ugh, this is terrible for my heart.
There's no way you could... It's not here, I tell you!
Well, would you be so kind as to enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think, Miles, think! Somewhere not even the police would search. A blind spot in this zoo. A hiding place that the warden could be absolutely sure of. A hiding place? No! If you insist. Come on, Helmet. Open up. Did she use the same trick? No, that's ridiculous. Isn't it? But the more I think about it, how many foolproof ways to evade detection could there be? Mr. Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? There's the faintest possibility I'm right, but if I'm wrong, we stand to lose everything. Your Honor, this is where the real murder weapon is hidden.
Take that!
Say let's go!
Here, in the yard. Indeed. I don't believe I understand. Would you care to explain a little more? Where exactly is the real murder weapon hidden?
Hello, Allie.
Take that!
Of course. That's what it must have been. Huh? What's the matter, Detective?
It's the metal detector, sir. It's, reacting to the alligator. What? How?
The metal detector was reacting to something inside her after all. Your Honor, I'd like to remind you of this piece of evidence. The chisel.
Didn't we just figure out that that isn't the murder weapon?
You might recall that Mr. Canis hid this chisel in his dog's mouth. Would you believe that the real murder weapon was hidden in much the same way? That's right. The murder weapon is hidden inside the alligator in that pond over there.
What? No way!
We detected the presence of a metallic object during our earlier investigation. Judge Cavell, we need to know what's inside that alligator. Understood. Then we will need to summon a veterinarian.
I'm sure I could get the little sweetie to open up for us. I'd be happy to give it a try.
Please, by all means. Warden Lagarde, the real murder weapon is about to be revealed. Why not do the right thing and confess?
I have nothing to confess.
As you wish. Then you can simply wait and watch as your lies are exposed.
Sir, we got it. That has to be it.
It's over, Fifi Lagarde. The real murder weapon was Bodhidharma Canis's knife, making you the only person who could have killed Bronco Knight. I'm not the criminal here.
This is all Canis is doing.
I did the right thing. Knight was a threat. He was Canis's lapdog. Curse that despicable man, Canis. Why did he have to come and ruin my perfect little home? We could have been happy forever if it wasn't for him. He ruined my paradise on Earth.
He ruined everything. Curse him. Curse that pitiless butcher. That awful, terrible, despicable man. Curse him!
Tack on a charge for animal cruelty? So true. Not the little guys.
Prosecutor Thwinner, sir! The results have just come back.
Thwinner?
Thwinner. I guess we've all been under a lot of stress. Traces of Bronco Knight's blood were found on Mr. Canis's knife. It's just like you said, sir. Congratulations on a stunning victory.
Thank you, officer. Excellent work. You can continue complimenting me if you'd like.
Yes, sir. Thwinner wins again. I think I'm welling up a little. With rage.
Excellent work, Eustace. Just a few loose ends to tie up and we're done.
Huh? What are you talking about? I just solved the case, didn't I?
We have yet to confirm whether or not Knight really was working for Mr. Canis. It will be vital to know if Warden Lagarde was simply jumping to conclusions on that front.
Huh? Huh?
There's Clueless, and then there's you.
Well, then I guess we'd better get back to our investigation. All right, officer, you're with me. You're about to see the winner win a whole lot more. Prepare to witness first-rate investigative talent in action. Yes, sir. I'm right with you, sir. Can't wait to watch you at work. It's winning time! What a guy.
I expect this case will cause quite a stir. The attempted murder of a president is news enough, and now his would-be assassin has been murdered. But Knight never sought to kill the president in the first place. The truth is not always as important as it might seem, Mr. Edgeworth.
Winning time!
In the eyes of both society and the law.
How could you even say that?
You do not have to believe me. However, as a prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth is obliged to accept that this is the reality of the world he operates in.
Being a prosecutor is about more than proving people guilty. That is what I believe.
We are all free to believe as we choose, but the law is not to be toyed with for our own personal goals. If you refuse to accept this, then you must prepare to suffer the consequences.
What does that even mean? Wait, you're not gonna take his...
I'm afraid I must be going now. Farewell, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gummy is so mad.
Judge Cabell is right. There must be only one set of laws for everyone. But following the law means sacrificing the truth. Can I really do that in good conscience?
Simeon! You're out! Hi, Regina! Is everything alright? They did let you out, right? Yeah? But I'm so confused about what's going on. Some guy just came and said I was free to go, and that I have Mr. Edgeworth to thank. You sure do. Mr. Edgeworth found out who the real killer is. Wow, really? You did that for me, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh no. Stop staring at me like that. I'm innocent, I swear. Don't pull the rug out from under me now. Stop it, silly. It's true. He saved you, so say thanks already. Okay, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. And a great big Regina Berry thank you from me, too.
Mr. Saint talking directly to me. Small victories, I suppose.
Can I just ask one question, Mr. Attorney?
Sure. I'm not actually an attorney, though.
I thought Bronco was my friend. No, my best friend. I trusted him, but now... But now? Well, it's just... I never knew. I never would have believed that he could hate somebody enough to want to kill them. If he kept something like that from me, then he never really trusted me, did he? That's not true, Simeon. Of course he trusted you. No, he didn't. If he just told me, I could have stopped him. I could have told him that hate never helps, that he had to let go of all that stuff.
Mr. Saint, I think you're forgetting something. I should show him the thing that proves Knight trusted him.
Take that!
It's the chess set I brought for him.
Knight had hidden a chisel inside. I imagine he meant to use it to escape.
What? You mean he was using me?
No. He believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and that you would never be so untrusting as to look inside. I imagine that by not telling you, he was hoping he could keep you from getting caught up in this mess.
Oh. Bronco! Why didn't you tell me? At least you understand now, right, Simeon? I'm sure he does. He may not show it, but Simeon's no dummy.
A good night's sleep and he'll be completely over this whole thing by tomorrow. That's not as complimentary as you think it is. I'll try. I have to, for Bronco. I have to show him I can become the best animal trainer out there. That's the spirit. Are we sure the animals are not training you, sir? Oh, I almost forgot. We're, doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. The one, the only, the Berry Big Circus is back. I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one. That's right. The Berry Big Circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You'll have oodles of fun. Sounds great, doesn't it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, we have to go. Well, I'll think about it. All right, Simeon, we've got some training to do. I think it's time you and Regent got acquainted. What? Regent the tiger? No way! I can't! No. Oh, you'll be fine, silly. You'll never meet a nicer kitty cat. I can't! Please, Regina, anything but that, please! Another satisfied customer. Well, that was really something, Smiles. Talk about pulling it out of the bag. I couldn't have done it without you, Fender. Without your timely intervention, she would have gotten away. Besides, I have you to thank for even being able to investigate the case in the first place. Oh, stop it. Pat me on the back any harder and you're gonna make me blush. Or topple over. I suppose it would be asking too much of you to take this seriously. Seriously? Miles, my friend, I'm always serious. Anyway, how does it feel to save an innocent client? That's what it means to be an attorney, after all. To be an attorney. Gotta say, I had a blast. Reminded me of the good old days. Like Gregory was standing there right beside me. It's been like a zillion years since I felt this warm and fuzzy on the job. That's good. Bittersweet. I'm not sure. Say, Miles, you ever thought about going into the defense game full time? Excuse me. You know, pick up where Gregory left off. Get out there and actually help people. Hey, pal, don't get any big ideas. Mr. Edgeworth ain't about to switch sides. Why not? Coming over to the light side's all the rage. Everybody's doing it these days. Come on, Mr. Fender. You know it's not about that. Chill, team, chill. Don't get it twisted. I was just asking a perfectly innocent question. No, you weren't. The heck you were. Looks like you got a mean defense team there yourself, Miles. Fender, I'm a prosecutor. Yep, and I'm an attorney. You could be one too. I'm serious. Well, I've said my piece. You change your mind, you know who to call. I'll be waiting. What a guy. Follow in my father's footsteps. I really do such a thing. I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my dad! The man, the myth, the legend, Gregory Edgeworth himself. An attorney like my father. Me? Yay! We did it! And it is time for me to end stream. Holy moly, my voice is dead. Alright, let's see if there's anybody we can raid to. Okay, we're going to raid to Nano. They're playing Monster Hunter Stories, so if you want to stick around for that, awesome. But if not, thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully I will see you guys next time. We did it, boys! Bye-bye!